I think, did somebody have to leave or something like that?
Yeah, Jimmy Black had to leave. He had some family stuff he had to take care of on Sunday. Yeah. So he left, and then I pitched last 4 games.
Wow, man. How'd you do? How often do you pitch?
I pitch when I play with my son. When I play with the kids, the 25 and the 30-year-olds, that's when I pitch. When I play senior ball, I play middle or shortstop.
All right. Oh man, you're an animal, dude. You're a freaking animal. That's cool, dude. Yeah, because when I've always known about you, but it wasn't until I get a little more communication with people concerning the show, and that's when I find out all the war stories, all the and then of course you sent those pictures, which I can't wait to highlight on the show. So when I saw the pictures, I was like, holy shit, they're really, I understand why everybody's like, dude, Donnie's been around, he's been, so that was really neat, man.
Yeah, it's 39 years this year.
God bless it. I wonder who the most active, longest standing active player that's been around. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty interesting to find out.
It's got to be Donnie. He's got to be up there.
He's right here on my screen.
Yeah, there's nobody left that came up with me that's came up in '82 that's still playing. No. So I just turned 60 this past December.
Wow, man.
So
wow, good on you, brother.
And then I just
look at your mustache. Very little gray.
Yeah, very little. Little gray on the top too. Very little on the top too.
Sharp.
At your tournament, Trini, I ruptured my Achilles at your tournament in Waxahachie.
Oh,
and
man.
4 months later, I played.
Jesus, man.
We're talking this past tournament?
Yeah, October.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
4 months later, I played my first tournament.
Wow.
So Donnie's a great example of when I see these guys that are like 38, 39, 40, announcing their retirement from softball, like you're walking away from a lot. Because it's a gift to be able to play the game. And if you're giving up 8, 10, 12 years of the game, I really think you're missing out. And Donnie's a great example. I mean, he might not be the Donnie he was, but he's still pretty damn good. And he's hard to get out, and he can still pitch in the majors and stuff like that, right? Like, why would somebody choose to willingly give that up? I don't know, but it happens a lot. It's like guys just retire,
Hey, Donnie, that glove still works too, huh?
Yeah, the glove still works. They really don't want to hit at me.
I know.
Which is good for me. I'm glad that they don't want to hit at me, but if they do, I got a good shot at getting it.
Good. Yeah, we're just talking with the ultimate legend of police softball, Donnie Meyer, right now. He's giving us all his secrets away.
It starts with the hair in the 80s. Wait till you see the hair. When you see the hair in the 80s, then you'll know where it started.
That's right.
What's going on, Steven?
Another day, bud. Trying to get my horse out of my room. Get out of here. Go. Come on, dude.
I'll tell you something with the guys that are on this screen, and it's neat because when I see you guys, it's just that feeling you get of like you just want Vegas to get here. You just want the World Series to get here so you can see everybody in one place and hang out and shoot the shit and go. It's just a neat feeling to have you guys on. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know we're live now, but we're gonna give people a chance to sign in. We've got Andreas. What's going on, brother? Glad you could join me. I like that little logo that you have for your YouTube deal, man. That's pretty cool, man.
I can't see
let's see. We got Stu. What's up, Stu? Look at that smile. He's always got a great smile for you. Got Dan Potter. What up? Dan says, Donnie, nice shirt.
Thanks. Yeah, you got it from Dan.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, Donnie, one of those things that I noticed with some of those pictures we're going to show for Throwback Thursday is, man, you don't age. I mean, seriously, you take your glasses off and you get next to, not all of those pictures, but most of them, you get next to them. It's like, holy smokes, man, that guy just didn't. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you about the early picture. Just to verify, is that you? Who is that in the older picture?
Those are all me. You mean in the little baseball picture, 2 little kids?
Yeah,
that's me. That's me at like 4 years old and my cousin.
Oh, wow. That's going to be cool. I'm excited. You guys are in for a treat with Throwback Thursday on this one with Donnie. So let's see. We got Tyler Clausen joining in, Nate the Great, and Donnie the Legend.
What's up, Big Tie Dog?
People.
What's up, Tyler?
I saw a video of Tie Dog back at it yesterday, taking some BP. You know,
he mashed in Tampa last weekend. He was mashing the ball.
Oh, he was back out. Okay.
Oh yeah, he played last weekend. Him and the wife and Riley, baby Riley, were around.
Okay, maybe it was live action. I thought it was a BP session.
Yeah, no, he played. He hit the ball all over the place.
Well, Big Tie and mashing go together. I'll tell you that right now. So there ain't no softies with that dude.
No.
Dan says, Donnie, that you're the Dick Clark of police softball. Sean White, what's going on, man? Good evening to you. Let's see. Andreas is saying, hey, Dan, hey, Andreas, hold on, son. We're going to do some recaps. He's asking who won. But go ahead. You can tell him now. You can tell him. Who won it, Donnie?
Max Elite won it.
Yeah.
They beat us, North Florida, in the finals.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. We are going to recap that one and then go from there. Yep, Jeff, yours went through.
Okay.
So you're good to go. Yeah, man. So I think, let me see. Deanna, you ready? Here we go, Deanna. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Hello.
Y'all don't remember
Hey,
that
Deanna.
that is my right-hand woman. Hey, Deanna, so what ended up happening? We were able to get Kevin?
Yeah, so I reached out to him and he popped back in for a second, but then he went out. So I'm going to try and figure that out. Oh, I think he just
is. Let's see what happens. It
Dun,
looks
dun,
like it's
dun,
smoother
dun.
now. So let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Hold on. How's it going, Kevin?
There he is.
All right, I think I may have figured it out here.
There we go. Nice.
There we go. Got another one.
Never a doubt.
DA guys, man. Slacker.
Never a doubt, Kev. That a boy.
All right,
You
sweet.
figure it out, man. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Let's see here. We'll start here in just a few minutes. But we got John Irvin joining us, Don Money Meyer. And then let's see here.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, dude, we just gave Deanna a raise. Andreas, you're killing me. I might not show your comments. I don't know anymore, Andreas. You're costing me more money. Let's see. And then Tyler says, oh, snap. K Mort in the house.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, so hey guys, I'm really excited about this show. We're gonna be going over quite a few things I think that are going to be interesting for people. We're going to be covering a polar plunge update from Dan Mcintyre. It's crazy, dude. He was doing a polar plunge in 10-degree weather. That guy's nuts, man. I knew it when I first met him. I was like, yeah, this dude. But he's nuts in a good way. So he really helps a lot of people, and that's going to be neat. We're going to cover the Brian Asselton tournament. We're going to cover that. CenCal. So with CenCal, I didn't get the standings in that tournament. I wasn't able to get, how everybody finished in that one. I know, did CenCal won their division? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Steven will let you know there.
Cool. That'll work. I'm sure we won't. That'll be good. It'll get us caught up. And then the meat of the program is going to be the 5-man fundamentals, which is why you guys are here. When I checked with Jeff and I checked with Joe, and hopefully Joe will be able to join us here soon. But when I checked with them, man, y'all's names came up. And so I'm real excited to be able to have you guys on. It's going to be a great input, from the guys that are out there actually, not just talking about it, but actually making it happen on the field. So let's see here. John Irvin says, what's up?
Love it.
Nate?
What's up,
buddy.
Johnny Irvin?
That's right.
And then
Class act. Good dude right there.
Stu.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, one of these shows is eventually going to break out into a political discussion at some point. I'm trying so hard to avoid it, but I know it's coming, dude. It really is. I'm not the guy for that conversation, but it is funny because I get a lot of comments on that. So All right, let me see. Deanna, will you do me a favor? Just check with Joe real quick, see what he's looking like, and we're gonna go live in about let's see here, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yep.
I think we're all pretty much on the same page here, on JB.
We are. By the way, there's a rumor going around. I looked up Kevin Mort when they were asking about, recommendations for this show, and I looked up his minor league baseball statistics, and this was 2 days ago. It said, "Please wish Kevin a happy birthday on March 10th." So can we verify that your birthday was 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
All right.
All right, man.
Google is correct.
His Wikipedia page is good.
Yeah.
Happy
Here we
birthday,
go.
buddy.
There you go.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Thank
Here
you.
we go. Look at this one.
Love you too, Mort.
Oh, jeez.
Got you, Deanna. Got you. All right. Look at
That's
this
right.
here.
He's
Right.
not lying. I
Okay,
saw that on
well,
Saturday.
We'll welcome one more before we go live. JT, you there, man? We got his label, but we don't have him. JT, you there? All right. We'll see if we can work on JT. Deanna, see if you can work on JT. I know when he pops up and I see him, it'll be good. All right. Let's go through a couple more comments before we get going. Let's see here. Police versus Cali politics isn't a show. It's a series.
Very true.
Oh, man.
Very true.
You.
Yeah.
What's up, Q?
Dude, that guy belongs on a magazine cover. Let's see here, Andreas. Let's see, going 7 wide. Holy smokes. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see here. JT, there we go. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
All right.
What's
Man,
going
I'm very happy
What's
you
up,
could join
JT?
us, dude. Yeah, JT was working earlier today when we did our test, and so it was. And I'm telling you, seeing you guys without hats, it's kind of weird sometimes. You're like, oh man, I know him. Then you throw a hat on, it's like, I got it. I know who you are. Yep. So anyway, all right. Well, let's get ready to go live. We'll start off here in just 1 minute. Thank you guys again for joining us. Truly appreciate it, and we'll be back at you here shortly. All right, Deanna, let's make this happen. Yeah, we'll do that, Deanna. Go ahead. Woo, it is March the 11th, and we are here with another episode of the Police Softball Podcast. Yes, Joe, my man. It was just in the nick of the time. You know what? I'm not even going with the intro. What's going on, buddy?
Oh my God.
I'm happy you're
I'm
here,
man.
I know you, and I know that you don't show up late to these things, so I know it must have been crunch time for you.
Been running around like crazy.
I know you've been working a lot, man. I'm happy you were able to be here today.
Yeah, St. Louis is busy nowadays.
Dude, no joke. You got job security where you're at for sure.
No doubt. What I miss?
Well, we got an all-star lineup, man. We got guys sitting here what do we have? 1, 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we include Deanna, we almost have a full team. But if we take Deanna out, we got an all-star lineup on here, man. It's going to be neat. I'm super excited. So what's going on, Tyrone? How you doing, brother? I know you've been going on some vacations, probably outside on your back porch chilling. I've seen the pictures. Very nice, son. Very nice. All right. So, and Tyrone even throws you a shout out, Joe.
What up,
You're
Tyrone?
finally getting a fan base.
It's the second shout out I've ever gotten in what's this 26 episodes. Great. I love it. Appreciate that, Tyrone. You're the man.
We're putting an email out soon, and we're going to make sure that we get you some attention. I thought I was enough for you, but apparently not.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
All right, man. Well, hey, I'm Trinidad. This is the Police Softball Podcast. Very happy you guys could join us. I have a little intro that I do for those that maybe are tuning in for the first time. I'm an Air Force veteran, law enforcement veteran, 2-time cancer survivor, which, by the way, I'm extremely happy for today because I was able to get the results of my scan, and this was just an hour and a half ago. And so everything's good. I get another 4 months before I have to go back in for another scan. And so I'm just extremely happy. So it's an extra special night. We rushed home from the hospital. We typically have a dinner, Joe, that we go out to after our, after
You didn't go out to dinner?
No, man, I had to get back here and get ready for this show. So, but that's all right. We'll make it up for tomorrow. So, but yeah, I'm a franchise business owner of Biotech's Crime Scene Cleaning and a nonprofit founder of an organization called Shields for Kids, which I'm very proud of. I'm also, as far as law enforcement softball, I'm the coach of our San Antonio Law softball team. Won a couple of national titles, a Chevy Wright Sportsman of the Year. I love these awards, man. This Pat Hill Inspiration Award winner and the Texas Police Athletic Foundation and PS.com Hall of Fame member. So that's about me. Got my buddy Joe, first and foremost, is my friend. He's the coach of the Missouri Lawmen. He's director of the Show Me Classic coming up when, Joe?
July 31st, August 1st. Saturday,
How many
Sunday,
teams
Thursday.
we have signed up? How many teams we have signed up? So
Right now, I think we got 9.
right.
It's pretty stacked tournament so far. There's several of them that are maybes. They're trying to work out the details, see if they can get their whole squad out. And I don't know. I'm expecting probably somewhere around 15-ish, something like that.
Nice. Very nice. All right. I know I've talked to a few teams that said that they want to get going there. So he's a Louisville Slugger Masters Division coach, the East Conference Manager of the Year, the Texas Showdown Home Run Derby champion. Deanna, we're supposed to add something for Joe last week. We're gonna have to research that show and get it added to his little label that we have there. So we'll make that happen. All right. So hey, we've got a guest that I always enjoy having on with us, and we're just gonna bring him on real quick and introduce him. He is Jeff the Swami Blair. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, just looking forward to this one. We get great names on here and a great topic. I love anytime we get to talk about things such as the strategies of the game and stuff. Just intriguing to me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good. So we got Jeff. He's a retired deputy chief of the Tustin Police Department. He's in law enforcement for 31 years. PS.com co-founder, him and Adele co-founded PS.com. If you haven't looked it up, you need to. I know we're going to have some people tuning in that aren't familiar as much with the basics of the 5-man defense. So I think it's going to be neat to make sure we shout out PS.com. 4-time Majors Division champion, 2-time Masters Division champion, 2013 PS.com Hall of Fame inductee. So again, Jeff, thank you so much. I know you have a ton of knowledge, and it's going to be really neat to be able to have you on talking about this subject of the 5-man defense. So Jeff, we're going to bring you back on here.
Hold on, I just want to tell Jeff one thing. I promise I won't bring up the waiver wire idea at all while you're on the show today.
With the waiver wire, the roster restrictions, man.
We have people's eyes rolling. We have people's eyes rolling on that one. But everybody wants to talk about it some more, so we'll have to see how that goes. But Jeff, all right, man, we'll bring you back on here shortly. And let's see here, Joe. So we've got Andreas joining us. We have quite a few people on. It's going to be a great show. We need to win that. Oh, yeah, SLC again. Yeah, we're going to be going up there with a pretty decent team, Joe, so I'm excited for that.
You always bring a decent team, man. You guys are always stacked every time you come.
Read this one for me, Joe. I just want to hear it.
I still have a crush on you, Trini.
Who is that chick?
She's making you blush, man. She's making you blush.
She's stalking me. Hopefully she'll stay up till I get to the room tonight, because she's never up when I get to the room. I think she just she stops commenting after a while, and I think she's asleep then. We'll see. All right, man. So let's get to it, because we got a lot of good stuff going on. So first and foremost, Joe, I wanted to show you that our statistics. So we have our podcast, right? This is our podcast. Yeah. You're watching it. So they haven't come up with a technical name yet, but it's Deanna, do me a favor. You can throw up some comments on there for right now. Oh, look at this one. She says, I'm awake, you dork. All right. So so anyway, we have our stats, right? So this is a video show, but also you can find it on a podcast format. So you can go to all the different formats that carry podcasts and you can listen to it. A lot of guys listen to it on the way to work and stuff. But we like to throw in the visual aspect of things on the show too. So on that note, we want to show you some of our podcast stats. Let's bring that up real quick. So as of May the 19th, well, let's see here. It was first aired. Okay, we were aired on May the 19th. So we've had 17,217 views from Facebook. On YouTube, we've had 5,798 views. Total views of 23,015. So like I've told you guys before, a lot of people watch this show or listen to it outside of the live broadcast, but we've had been bouncing from 43 to 39 people as of right now live watching. So I'm excited about this show, but hey, if you get an opportunity, go to our YouTube channel because that's really going to help us a lot. If you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you're not familiar, because I've had this talk before where guys aren't really familiar with YouTube, check it out real quick. We'll show you how to do it. Just go to type in Trini Trinidad. You'll go into the filter. You'll hit the channel. You'll see my vacation photo there. You'll hit the subscribe button. This is the most important part. Then you'll get the notification bell on the right and just hit that top notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we have a live show. And that was when that was when we started a while back, Joe. Now, if you put in the Police Softball Podcast or whatever, you'll find it and you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. It's a lot easier now. So let's see.
And all those views those don't even include all the unique downloads on other platforms such as Spotify and Apple Listen or whatever the hell the other one is. There's a few others I know that are out there, and there's a few thousand downloads as well there.
Yeah, very good point, because we don't bring any of that up, but we are going to have that here sometime soon with those stats. So we appreciate your help. Again, YouTube really helps us a lot. One of the other shout outs that we're going to have today is going to be to Eddie Leal and Yvonne Leal. So we're going to give them a shout out for their anniversary. You can check this out real quick. Look at that. He's a big teddy bear in her arms. So, hey, man, congratulations.
15 years. Congrats.
Yeah, 15 years to you guys. Hey, and if you've got an anniversary, a birthday, if you got something going on, man, send it to us here at the Police Softball Podcast. We'll highlight it for you. So anyway, congratulations, Eddie and Yvonne. One thing I'm going to highlight too is it's really neat, Joe, because I do get some really neat gifts here and there, and I'm going to get you a gift, Joe.
You get a lot of nice gifts. I don't know that I've gotten any nice gifts yet, but maybe someday I'll get a nice gift.
Well, on that note, let me do this real quick. All right. My Canadian connection hooked me up, son. So check this out, man. So I got this package at the house and we'll throw it up there real quick. This is can you guess who it might be from? Those ketchup potato chips.
What does that say? Old Dutch?
It's my Canadian connection, Tyler. So Tyler sent my son and myself a few gifts. You'll notice there that they got ketchup chips is what they've got, like coffee crisp and stuff. But check out this bat, man. Go ahead. We got a coin that he sent. Really neat coin. Tripp really loved it a lot.
Trini, your nails look really nice in that picture.
Yeah, well, I do my best. All right, Joe. Nice. Very nice. My skin looks moisturized, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to the next one. We've got the bat. So check this bat out, man. He put all three of the logos: San Antonio Police, Shields for Kids, Trini Trinidad logo, and then we'll go to the next one. This is the part I really like, man. Look at this part, man. I love it all. See the thin blue line? It's a wooden bat, and then we'll do a close-up of what he had put on there. That's pretty neat, man.
Very nice.
And here it is right here.
Where are you going to hang that thing, man? You can't use it. Where are you hanging it?
Not sure yet, but I do have a good little collection going. So I'm excited about that. I'll tell you what, I want to tell you, Tyler, thank you so much, man. You really made my son and myself extremely happy. And so thank you for that. I appreciate it.
How did the potato chips taste?
Well, it's interesting you asked. Oh, man, that does smell like ketchup. Like ketchup potato chips. Not much. Oh, I like them, but I need some fries with it. Yeah, they're good. So
Fries
I'll be munching on these. Huh?
You need some fries with your chips.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, thank you so much, brother. I truly appreciate it. Tyler and the girls, I do appreciate it. Really made us feel special, man. Thank you guys very much. So we got a special guest, Joe, for Throwback Thursday. That's our section coming up here that we like to go next. And this guy here, I mean, we're talking about a legend, obviously. I mean, I didn't understand how much of a legend he was. I met him in person. People are like, man, check that out. It's Donnie. It's Donnie. Telling me all the stories, right? Like I've heard about Mark Jackson and Stu and these guys. But this man here actually, I asked him because I saw some of these photos. I came across some of these photos, and we'll just bring him on and let him talk about his Throwback Thursday. This guy's got some serious Throwback Thursday stuff for us. So we're going to welcome Donnie, the man Meyer. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Trini. Hey, Joe.
What's up, Donnie? Long time no see, bud.
Yeah, what about a week?
Yeah. where you driving? What you going to play this weekend or something?
Yeah, I'm playing again this weekend. I got a 50s tournament this weekend.
Where at?
Tampa.
Nice.
I'm back over there all the time. I got the next 3 weekends.
Very nice.
Hey, Donnie, it says here you're in law enforcement for 85 years. So
no, 8.5.
8.5 years. My bad. But as much of a legend as you are, I would believe it. So New York Metro from 1982 to 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Donnie, but 2006
right.
Hall of Fame inductee, 2006 East Coast Player of the Year, PS.com All-Decade Team and Legends Team, and 2016 National Police Softball. What's the C?
Championship. That's a Dayton. That's from the Dayton tournament.
All right, there you go. Hall of Fame inductee. Very nice, Donnie. Very nice,
Thank you,
brother.
sir.
Well, you had an excellent career. You have an outstanding reputation both on and off the field. So I'm excited to be able to highlight some of these photos. I'm gonna throw these photos up, but first, real quick, Donnie, let us know, man. When we throw these photos up, man, you can give us a little a little bit on each one of these photos. And so we'll start with this one, and you just go ahead and let us know.
Oh yeah, that's me on the left, and that's about 4 years old, I guess, back in Queens, New York, 1960 some 65, 64, somewhere around then.
And that's crazy, dude. You know, I'm going to bring Jeff. Jeff, I'm going to bring you on so you can have some comments also. But, man, I'll tell you what, did you have to hold still? They put the flash thing up high and then the camera and then let it.
the smoke went off when I took the picture. Yeah.
Where is that in Queens? Was that on a ball field? Where was that?
Yeah, it was on a ball field called Chisholm Park.
Chisholm Park.
Very
nice,
cool, dude.
So,
let's go to this next one here.
All right, so that's the Metro team, probably 85. We're at the World's Fair in Flushing, Queens. And if you can see in between all of the guys is 5 foot and 6 foot trophies standing around. That's what they used to give the team when you won a tournament back in the 80s. And you can tell we won a couple. And they had to try to get them home on planes. We had to take them apart. And so none of the guys, some of these guys aren't playing anymore, but they're still around. The big tall guy right underneath the ball is Henry Kluse. He kind of helped me teach me about softball. Him and Sam Sapienza, both of them are in the Hall of Fame. And they were some big players back in the day.
So I noticed a few things. First was the trophies. Let's bring that one back up real quick, Dana. First was the trophies, because I remember, seeing photos like this. I remember at the time when I was coming up, you got a team one, but they were big like that. But I noticed the tall hats. And I noticed the 2 rings on the socks. Now that's going to come into play later on. There's only 2 rings on those socks. But as we move on into Donnie's Throwback Thursday photos, we're going to notice some differences in that one. So yeah, we'll go to this next one.
Oh yeah, that's also early Jack. That's a Jacksonville. That's from a batting practice area that we found in Jacksonville. That's probably around the same time, 85, 84, somewhere in that range. And like you said, there's the stripes again on the socks. But then everybody wore the high white socks and the coach's shorts, and we had the big conductor hats back in the day, as you can tell.
Well,
you guys needed a mustache to play on that team.
Yeah, it was a mustache team. That was part of it. It took me 4 years to grow mine.
Well, I noticed a couple of things. That we had the added 3 rings on these socks now, so they were going a little higher with them. And then the guy that's not in the middle, not the tall one, but the one to the right had is maybe a little ahead of his time with the bandana thing going on, like the 80s kind of jazzercise.
Yep, that's Richie Carter. He's also in the Hall of Fame.
Oh wow!
From our team. But as you can tell, we have a lot of guys there. But what made us such a great team is we had 4 or 5 guys that they knew they were coming to run. If we got up big or we were down big, they would come in the game and get their playing time in. So that's always good to have. You have 9 or 10, 8 or 9 starters, and then 4 or 5, 6 guys that knew their role. That's what made us so good back in the day.
Yeah, man, that is cool.
Very cool. Joe, are you taking notes on this? I've noticed both pictures have 20 guys.
Yeah.
Is that exactly 20? I thought it was closer to about 25, but yeah, I'm taking notes.
Based on some conversations we had last week, if Joe had it his way, 5 of those guys would be sitting at home.
Wait a second, man. What do you mean, Joe? I promise not to talk about this.
Playing on a different team.
But since you brought it up, Jeff, I didn't bring up the roster restrictions. I was talking about the waiver right. The roster restriction was somebody else. Let's get off that topic and let's talk to Donnie. Let's talk to Donnie.
What happened this last weekend? Joe was all about this topic. Now he wants nothing to do with it. He might have gotten hammered. I don't know. But I got you, Joe. I got you. All right, let's go to the next one. Do we have another one there? Let's see here.
Okay. Yeah, that's the Anne Arundel turned into the Anne Arundel tournament. That we used to go to play the Police Olympics the Monday through Thursday before this tournament, and then drive from upstate New York down to Maryland to play in this tournament with the same guys that were playing in Albany. So we leave the hotel in Albany, drive straight through New York, back down through Jersey to Maryland and play this tournament, which we won that one a few times. That was a small complex. The fences were like 285. So we had a few home runs there. And Trini, if you look at the socks, there's no stripes now.
Trust me, trust me. I took notes on these things. I got it. I saw that the fashion statement went away from the rings, straight, clear socks. I noticed that the white shorts went away and became black. So we started getting a little more into that. And the other dude, you're a time traveler. I'm telling you, like I said before, you take these pictures, man, you freaking haven't aged a bit. Man, that is cool. Let's see. Hey, John Irvin.
Too.
Oh, yeah. John Irvin said Joe got picked up off the wire for Tampa.
Hey, Donnie, is that red in the picture there? It's a little blurry.
That is red in the picture. Yes, it is. Great man. Nice. He was like a second father to me. He was awesome. Awesome man.
I got a crazy story about about him. Is that I'm at a hotel in St. Louis meeting with the GM there, and I'm in the lobby of the hotel, and a guy comes up to me because he hears me talking about. I was talking softball with the guy, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey," he goes, "Did you say something about playing softball?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, did you say?" And I was bringing up. We just got done with my tournament. We were bringing up. It was at the host hotel. I was to meet with the GM, and it just happened to be the guy that was in the lobby that overheard my conversation was Red's son, and he was in St. Louis, and
Chris and Michael.
Yeah, we ended up having a 30-minute conversation about police ball and everything else. It was pretty wild, small world,
Yeah, he was a great man. took a lot of money out of his own pocket for Metro over the years, shirts and uniforms and travel and tournament fees, everything. He was something else.
All right, let's see. Do I think we have another one, Deanna?
Yeah, anytime you want to stop these, Trini, go ahead.
Nice.
That's actually in Detroit at 8 Mile, called Softball City. And if you ever slid there, you would take gravel home and you'd have it in your leg for a month and a half to 2 months. You leave some skin behind, but you're taking home gravel. We had one of our worst beatings ever in that complex.
You received or you gave?
No, we received. We were playing Detroit, and there was probably, I don't know, maybe 1,500 people around watching the game, and they were hitting. It was unlimited home runs back in the day, and they had Chucky that got into the Hall of Fame a couple years ago, and he was leading off. I think he hit 6 in the game, and they were grabbing people out of the stands, hitting home runs. Women were hitting home runs. It didn't matter. They must have scored 60 runs. But I mean, we've given it back too, but that was probably one of the worst beatings we ever had.
Yeah, man, that's
it's funny how those
when they used to give cars away. We won a car there in 1984 in Detroit.
Smokes.
We won a Chevy Chevette. Everybody took turns driving it around the infield, and then we sold it back to Chevy and put the money in the kitty for the team.
Oh man, that's crazy, dude.
106 teams. And 106 teams at the tournament, straight double elimination.
Wow.
No brackets, no consolation. Lose 2, go home.
Yeah. Don't bring that up to Jeff either.
Oh man. All right. I think let's see here. We got one more, I think.
That's Detroit again. As you can see, the dugouts were down underground a little bit. Had a fence in front. It was a great place to watch a game.
That looks like it's out of a magazine there, man.
Yeah, don't you see some of the comments on my Facebook? I can't say what they were saying about that picture, but
what do you got on your knees?
That was for sliding, just little slide embraces. With diving. Well, I didn't really dive a lot, but that was back in the day. We only played 4-man, so it was a lot of running.
Yeah.
We didn't see 5-man until early 2000s when we went out and played SoCal and LAPD and stuff. That's the first time we ever saw a 5-man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's cool. I remember the wristbands being big at one point. Wristbands are real big with that. But who knows, man? I'm thinking about getting our team to do a throwback uniform. Wristbands, everything. 3 rings.
High white socks.
We'll bring the works. The shorts. We'll see.
I don't know if you'll find the shorts like that anymore.
But we'll see. It'd be interesting. So, but yeah, man. Hey, well, Donnie, man, I'll tell you what. I sure do appreciate you joining us for this Throwback Thursday. It's by far been the
thanks for asking. I really appreciate it. I want to say congratulations on your test results also. That's great to hear.
Thank you very much, man.
Awesome,
Super happy. I was
Joe,
going to be
Swami,
here.
Great seeing you guys. Hey, when Nate comes on, tell him he's the best 5-man I've seen ever.
We will.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Right there.
There he is. Best 5-man I've ever seen.
Man, I'm sitting in my son's room blushing, man. Come on, Donnie. Just minding my own business, Donnie. Hey, thanks for the trip down memory lane. That was awesome.
Great. I'm glad I got to do it. It was real fun. Appreciate it.
Excellent, brother. We'll have you back on.
You take care.
We'll have you back on. Nate,
all right,
we'll
see
have
you guys.
We'll see you, Donnie.
All right,
Thanks,
Donnie.
guys.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. And that was cool. I always liked that. I mean, when I started up in ball, it was the same way. No brackets, no anything. 2 you're out, and so it was kind of neat to live in that time and play that kind of thing, because some of the young cats haven't experienced that yet, and it was neat. The wins were not taking away anything from wins now. I mean, of course, but there was something to be said for showing up to a tournament where there just were no brackets, no divisions, no anything, and it was just, hey, best team goes home. And with the trophies. And so that was something special during those times, to be able to play those types of tournaments. So it was neat to see Donnie and to talk to people who've experienced that before. So very cool, man. All right, let's see. So I went ahead, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I did my my shirt change along with my hat changes. So this is my Special Olympics law enforcement torch run shirt. And of course, y'all know that my son, Trip, he's in Special Olympics, so that's a special place in my heart. But we did highlight Dan Mcintyre. And so Dan did these polar plunges. I don't know if y'all remember or not, but in this last show, I highlighted it because I thought it was very special he was doing it. But before we watch the video that we have for him, it's a short one, but I want to show some stats so you get an appreciation for what you're about to see in this video. For Special Olympics Illinois, Dan's total plunges were 28. So he was going to do 24 plunges every hour for 24 hours. He ended up doing some extra ones because some people came out and he didn't want to leave them hanging. So he did it with them. The outside temperature was 10 degrees. The water temperature was 33 degrees. That's crazy, dude. Plus, you'll see in this video, the wind was nuts out there. So the team funds raised $18,000 and Dan's funds raised $10,500, which I was very proud to be a part of that. So what a great turnout as far as virtually for people supporting Dan in Special Olympics Illinois and for the law enforcement torch run. And there's a special video that Dan made. Shout out to ps.com. On this video, you'll notice his shirt. I really love it a lot. And then you'll notice a few other things with it. But check out the wind also if you get a chance in this video.
All right, plunge number 5, 1 o'clock. This one's for you guys out of policesoftball.com. Trini, I know you're down by Cancun. I need you to do a plunge down there, buddy. Here's number 5. Number 5, boys.
Oh man, he was doing this stuff at nighttime, man, and it was just as windy. It was crazy, man. So, how about that, Jeff? Do it.
That'd be tough to do, man. I've been in cold water, never 33 degrees though.
So the Dan Mcintyre, that guy is like a rock star in police softball. He's the guy, like, I always worry, like, if I leave, like, is there somebody who's going to be able to take over and keep the spirit alive? That guy, I think he's maybe just turned 40, so he's a young dude. I mean, he gets the whole picture. It's not just about playing 9 or 7 innings of softball, right? He gets it. I like that guy. He showed up at Dell's funeral, flew all the way out for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, he came to my retirement party.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, man, that's awesome, brother. I mean, that's so cool. And so, Dan, congratulations to you and to everybody that supported. Dan actually just became, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the president of their association over there with the Special Olympics for fundraising and everything. So Dan's extremely involved in the community. We appreciate you, Dan. Great things by that guy off the field as well as on the field. So, all right. So we got the polar plunge update, and now on to the Brian Asselton Memorial Tournament. So we're going to show something real quick with was a few photos. There's Brian's law enforcement photo there. And then we'll go to his Marine Corps photo. So that's cool, man. I always appreciate, of course, all of our service, but in the military also. And we have some, let's see what the majors division, let's see how that division panned out. And Joe, you'll be able to comment here in just a second. I just want to let people know. Let's see how this majors. All right. So that's Maximum Elite. That was their team photo. Did they win it? And let's see what's next.
They rolled that weekend, man. They just, I don't know that they lost a game the entire weekend, but they look really good.
All right, and let's see.
The Swami ball had him motivated when he predicted they'd be in the gold division.
I think they might have lit a fire. I'm telling you, Jeff. I think it did.
There was a caveat in there. It said if they don't see this, they're going to be in the gold division. But somebody saw it. I know Irvin saw it, and they ended up smashing everyone.
Yeah, so I want to let's go through that real quickly, and then y'all can talk about it real quick. So what do we have? We have the listing for them, Deanna. The listing. There you go. So in the majors division, that's how it panned out. Maximum Elite, North Florida, Center Mass, New York, Mid Atlantic, Miami Dogs, Kentucky Blue, Connecticut Goats. All right. So that was the 6 there. And then Gold Division, Miami 5-0. Metro Detroit. That's Micah, right? Micah Hall. Let's see. Detroit PSC. Necessary Force. Maryland Outlaws, South Florida. And Louisville Metrodade. So yeah, y'all were there, or Joe, you were there. Give a little bit of a recap on that.
Well, I'll say this: the weather couldn't have been any more perfect. You know, it was 85 degrees and sunny on Saturday. It was 88 degrees and sunny on Sunday, and just great weather to be playing ball. You're, playing down in Florida, which is very nice, and the area was nice. Tampa's nice. Clearwater was nice. The party at Whiskey Joe's was great on the beach, on the water. As far as the tournament itself went, ran real smooth. I know that they lost a lot of balls in the trees and whatnot, and went through. I think close to maybe 20 dozen balls or something like that, which I think is crazy. But the team wise, Shamrocks kicked ass all weekend. They just looked great on the field, and a couple surprises in my opinion. I watched a lot of the games, and a couple surprises to me were Center Mass and Miami 5-0. Both those teams looked really good as well on the field, and I think they could surprise a lot of people this year at the tournaments that they show up to. I want to thank Justin for letting me play with them guys. Had a great time with them guys all weekend. Went out and hung out and stuff like that after the tournament, and it was just a good group of guys, Louisville, and Justin's obviously a great friend. So, but yeah, it was a good tournament all the way around. Hounds, they were the favorite going in, I would say, and they didn't come out on top. But those guys are gonna, they're gonna be in the conversation every tournament that they're playing in. They're gonna be top 2 or the favorite going in, depending on who's all there. But they'll be back for sure. But like I said, I think the 2 teams to watch out for in that group, Center Mass and Miami 5-0. A lot of talent on both of those teams.
Jeff?
I just I don't know if you guys saw the story, but I put a little LL Cool J shout out to the Shamrocks, Max Elite. Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. So to think that, they were talking about, hey, maybe they're not going to have a team this year because they lost all these guys and new leadership, and to come out and make a statement, I think is really impressive. And then that Miami 5-0 team, I saw their picture. They all look young and they look really athletic. Yeah, they look like athletes.
That might be the fastest team in the tournament. Down in Tampa. They are fast.
I responded to his thing on Facebook and said, do not get used to playing in the lower division. They're going to have to be a mid majors team. Joe, what do you think? They're mid majors, right?
I agree with that. Yes.
Okay. All right. Make sure we're on the right page here, because
we're on the same page with that. Those guys, that's a very athletic, talented team, and they got a lot of speed and youth. And I think the most senior guy as far as police work goes on that team is 8 years, and then the second most is 4. So that'll tell you how young those guys are there, and they're talented. It's a great group of guys too.
So they're only getting better, right? So. So I just my message to those guys, if they're watching, is like, don't get used to playing in the lower division. You guys will be playing against the Hounds and those teams on a more regular basis. Now, Center Mass, I don't even know what to think about those guys, because they've been solid in our Gold Division in the World Series. But when I saw they beat the Hounds, and I know the Hounds are loaded, I don't know if they're a different team, or I know they always play better when they're closer to home. But goodness gracious, to beat, you're talking about beating the Hounds, there's no way the Hounds come light, right? They didn't come shorthanded. There's no way.
Hounds were missing, I think, a couple guys, but they still had,
right.
They were still probably the favorite going in, even missing with those couple guys.
They could miss 5 guys and still be the favorite coming.
Yeah,
in. They're exactly that good. So
Yep, agreed. And that North Florida team, Go ahead.
I was just saying, I would, I'm not saying that, if I had to bet my life on it, I bet, and they played again, I bet the Hounds every time. But hats off to Center Mass for taking it to them, So
and I was going to say that North Florida team, they looked solid as well all weekend, and they had a couple bad breaks where they lost a couple guys. A couple guys got injured, and I think one got sick halfway through the tournament, and Jimmy Black had to leave before the last couple games. But But yeah, that team, don't sleep on them either. They're going to be a solid team all year.
So my understanding is Matt Tyndall's back in the mix. He's a former player of the year, and if he's on that team all year, I mean, they're already up there. So now he could take them to the next level. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And on that note, we have some stats for the all tournament. I think it's all tournament. Some players. All right, here we go. All tournament team gold. Miami 5-0s. Jared Arnioid, Anthony Garcia, Eddie Portiam, Eric Rodriguez, Philo Otero. Let's see here. Metro Detroit, Mark Quagar. Oh wow, there's some. Dan Painter, Tyler Goodnight, and Detroit PSC, Terrell Williams, and Brian Gibbings. All right. Yeah. And so I'll tell you what, I think it's neat to be able to have somebody boots on the ground, Joe, to be able to be there and give us some feedback on that one. Cause when we talk about these tournaments like Jeff and them, or even the competition committee and all they need this type of feedback to be able to get those, those predictions in there. And so, it's really neat, man. Let's see here. Eddie Portal, some typos are made. Oh, yeah. That was straight, just so you know, Red.
What's up,
that
Red?
Was straight from the site. So, and we try to get it right as much as possible, but that was straight from the site.
And that's a copy and paste job from what was sent to me from Johnny Sanzo. So,
right,
and it's going to come back to whoever wrote the names on the piece of paper. Like if when I at the end of the tournament, Trini's been there. I handed out, write your guys. If you screw it up, that's on you and on me. So.
Get it right before we go to Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, but now, man, that was a great tournament. I'm happy to be able to see all those teams show up, and again that you were there, boots on the ground, to give us some feedback on that. I know we did have also some CenCal. We have a photo, and I'm trying to think of what the the tournament again. There you go. So that's the tournament of the CenCal guys. They always have some really cool uniforms. We got Steven, who's going to be joining us for our 5-man fundamentals. And Steven, can you let us, give us a little insight on the tournament and how it went? All right. You there, brother?
Yes, sir. How's it going, bud?
Right. Nice, man. Nice. So I think it was a DEA kickoff is what I think it was. Steven, look at that one, man. We got the little Steven there, huh? All right.
Hey, I hope he's not like his dad, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, man. So give us a little feedback on this tournament, man.
Tourney was fun. It was close to home for most of our team. Not me. I'm out in Arizona right now taking care of the little guy with the wife. No, the tournament was fun. It was a blast. We went undefeated. Kind of figured we'd see DEA back undefeated game and then back in the ship. And that's kind of what happened. They went up big quick on us, 8 or 9 in the first inning, and fought back, beat them by 5. Can't complain with that.
Very nice. How was the weather up there? I know there's a venue change because of I think it's usually in Southern California, moved up north. Weather was okay.
Yeah. Oh, the weather, it was hotter in California than it is out here in Arizona. I was sweating at home over there, not here. Here, I got a sweater on.
Yeah. So y'all had the majors and gold division though, right?
Yeah. There was 2 divisions. There was I think 16 teams there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a good turnout.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, man. Well, I wanted to at least show that picture up there, get a little feedback from you on the tournament. But we do have you coming up next, so stand by real quickly, and then we'll go from there. All right? That'll work. All right, guys. So hey, I've had a lot of great feedback on this. Okay. So let's see. Deanna sending me a message saying enforcers were the lower champs. Enforcers. So all right, cool, man. I hope we can get some results from that tournament soon, so we'll be able to talk about it for the next podcast. But hey, on this next section that we have here, this is the meat of the program. This is something that's very interesting. We had a lot of great feedback before the show even aired. I mean, we just sent the notification out yesterday, Joe, and man, I had quite a few messages on people who were excited about the program. So we are going to have some great defensive players. I mean, all around players joining us. But like I said before, if you weren't able to join, I reached out to Joe, Jeff, and a few other cats to be able to find out, who should we have on this program to be able to talk about the fundamentals and then some insights on the 5-man defense. And so this is who we came up with. We've got some guys. We're going to introduce them as soon as, well, you know what? We'll do it now. So we'll bring on, first off, we have Nate Baez. So we got, let's see, Nate, check this out. It's a DEA combo, the fifth man. Look at this dude. Oh, you know what? Give me just a second. Hey, Jeff, give us a little bit about Nate.
So Nate is the guy that, like, he is, when Donnie earlier said that he had not seen the fifth man before until he came to play SoCal LAPD Blue, Nate's the guy that kind of I don't say kind of, I mean, he introduced it to the game with the style that it is now. I'm sure teams in the past had used a fifth man occasionally. Nate was the first guy that said, hey, we're running the fifth man all the time. And he brought this swagger about him that it's, what do they call it? Like a transcending player or something. Somebody who changes the game. It's almost like the UFC. Remember the first few UFCs, like there'd be a karate guy and there'd be a wrestler and you never knew who would win. And then all of a sudden, the guys who did like jujitsu with mixed martial arts, ground fighting and striking, it became so Nate is the guy that introduced that next level of the MMA. He's the guy that became what you see now with these MMA fighters are all kind of the same, right? That's every majors team is kind of the same now with the way they play defense. And that's largely due to Nate's influence over the sport. So, you know, he just wasn't a guy that changed the team. He's a guy that changed the sport.
Nice. Very nice. We got Nate joining now. I know you noticed the shirt. I was very happy to have this one. Check this one out.
Just another gift that Trini got.
Very happy to have this one. Jeff, I'll let you wear it every once in a while. Or Joe, I'll let you wear it every once in a while. Don't worry.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem. And then we've got Kevin Mort. It's going to be joining us here soon. And let's see. Look at this guy. Yep. Nice. So tell us a little bit, Jeff. What do we got going on with Kevin?
So Mort's a guy that I heard, like, when the DEA, McMorrow and those guys, they kept talking, oh, we got a guy in the hopper. We got a guy in the hopper. He played shortstop. I thought he said Ole Miss, Mississippi, played, in the minor leagues the whole bit. So Swami being the Swami, like, I don't, like, I'm an investigator, right? I'm a 31-year cop. So I Googled the guy up, as you guys heard earlier. He's legit, right? And then the guy shows up at a tournament, and he's like as short as I am, maybe $135 soaking wet. I'm like, this is the guy? And then I saw him play. I'm like, holy smokes, man. Like, there's a difference of guys that you see that are playing a position, that are good athletes, as opposed to a guy that grew up playing that position with repetition after repetition. He's a natural infielder to watch him with his hands and the speed in which he releases the ball and how quick he gets off the ground. Like, so I think he made like defensive player of the year in like maybe second year in the sport. And man, I think the guy probably deserves it every year. I mean, the guy's that good, and he's a little dude, but I mean, boy, I tell you, he's impressive.
It's neat because I hear you talking about him and the way he moves and everything. I've had guys on teams that I've coached that you see the guy, somebody invites somebody out, you see him warming up, and you're like, oh no, you can already tell just by the way he's warming up. You're already, if he doesn't have black under his eyes and everything else, and then you see him warming up and you're like, oh no, this guy's not gonna. So it just reminds me of like when you're talking about the way he moves, you can tell a ball player at the same time just by warming up. You're like, all right, this dude's got it. He's gonna be all right. So
I'll never forget the championship game. I think it was like 2015 between NYPD Blue and DEA, and the plays that Kevin made in that game. They won that game, but the plays that he made in that game were unreal. I mean, he was bringing a crowd to that field. There was already a crowd anyway. It's a championship game between two great teams, but I mean, the plays he was making just unbelievable. I'll never forget those plays, man.
Very nice. Yeah, George says K-Mort is a future legend. Yeah, very nice. Very nice, man. Hey, so we got Kevin. I'm happy to have all these guys on here. And then, of course, we've got Steven Martins. So y'all met Steven earlier, but listen, yeah, man, I always like seeing Steven play, man. It's a real treat. I'm going to talk to you later about that, Steven, but it's going to be really neat. Jeff, what do you got for Steven?
So another guy, like when this CenCal team was coming up, like I didn't know what much to think about these guys. And they go, hey, there's a fifth man. I look at this guy and he's like Mort size, right? Glove was big. I thought, well, most fourth, fifth man don't have those big gloves and stuff like that. And then I saw him play and I go, man, this guy's really good. And I talked to him afterward. And like, when you talk to this guy, like there's just an air of confidence about him playing the game. He expects to win. And it's interesting because he's not cocky at all. It's just he's very confident. Like he's the guy, like I guarantee it. Like I'm a guy like in the bottom of the seventh, like I'm thinking like, don't hit me. Please hit it to Cole, hit it to Nate. That Martins, he wants the ball hit to him. There's a difference, right? That's the kind of level of confidence he has. So I'm very impressed with him. Like once again, like looking at him, I mean physically, but just watching him like move across the field and stuff like that, and it's just very impressive. Yeah.
Nice. I got so we got next. And by the way, let's go bring that picture up again. And I'm gonna bring Steven on real quick. Steven, real quickly, I got you on now so they can hear you, but they can't see you. Am I seeing a cropped photo of you there on that far left picture? What's going on with that?
No, we had a pickle against DEA. Mort and Nate, I sure know about that one. I was first thing Saturday morning. We were in a pickle and we're all yelling it. That was funny. That's funny.
I heard about it, but we're gonna talk about it. So all right, very cool. All right, well we'll come right back to you, and then we've got JT. JT, we're gonna bring him up. Look at this, man, from Great Lakes. So JT, what do you got on JT there, Jeff?
So, I keep hearing about, Great Lakes because keep in mind, these Great Lakes was never known for having great defense until JT came around, right? So I really think that like they always talk about like the combinations, of players like Kobe and Shaq and, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I mean, so Biscuit and JT are probably the reason why Great Lakes is where they are right now, which is the number one team in the nation. I mean, they really needed somebody to lock down that middle. And I think he is the guy that provides that combo that teams need to get over the top. And make no mistake, I mean, right now, Great Lakes is the best team in the nation, period. They won Waxahachie. They were winning everything last year. They're young. Every weakness they had, they've addressed. And it's largely through their defense and through him.
Yeah, well, I want to know who Caitlin is, because Caitlin's all on JT's, and he's such a bad. Oh shit! I think that's the first curse word ever typed on the show. So Caitlin, shout out to you for being to making it to our first milestone in our show. I'm sure there'll be more to come now that I said that. Yeah, so that's a great lineup. So we're going to bring these guys on real quick, though. Joe, I wanted to be able to share from one of your followers. Trip says, Joe, the voice actor, Monahan.
I appreciate that, Trip. You're my man.
Trip will send you something. You watch. Trip will send you something.
That'd be awesome. Be my first gift.
And then Lou, what's going on, Lou? Says that's his twin, not twin, bro. All right, so let's bring them on. All right, so we got Nate, Steven, Kevin, and JT. What's going on, boys?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, guys?
Well, that's JT. You got your mute on, JT. So there you go. What's going on, JT? All right. It's an all-star lineup here. Hey, boys, thank you so much for joining us. What we're going to do is we are going to I'm going to have you guys mute yourselves quickly. Let's see. Oh, so Deanna, you got the banner on them? Let's see. What do we got? So we got Nate's law enforcement for 23 years, DEA combo fifth man, 20 plus years in the circuit, the four-time PS.com World Series champ. He's a PS.com Masters champ, a PS.com West Coast Defensive Player of the Year, 2020 PS.com Hall of Fame inductee. That's Nate. Let's see. What do we got next? Kevin's been in law enforcement for 8 years, DEA combo shortstop. He is a Majors Division champion, 2015 West Coast Defensive Player of the Year. Go to the next. All right. Steven, law enforcement for 4 years. CenCal connection, 5th man. Steven, do we have so law enforcement for 4 years? Where is that at?
Corrections, California.
All right. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's go.
Put me behind those two guys with a lot of lists there, huh?
We'll work on it, man. You and Joe. I had to add my friend to Joe's, and then we had a few others to beef up Joe. I couldn't have a co-host without just one little thing, so we had to beef him up. We're continuing to work on it. All right, let's go. What's the next one? Then JT got 9 years, Great Lakes shortstop, 2020 Show Me Classic champ. Nice. And 2020 Keepers of the Peace champ. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Got our Keepers of the Peace champion in there. Hey, JT, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Tibaudo.
Tibaudo. All right, there you go. Very cool. All right, John Irvin says studs. I agree. And then my boy Jay goes, those shorts are boxers now. What's going on, Jay? Thanks for joining us, brother. All right, so hey, we're here to talk about the 5-man fundamentals, and what I want to do is I want to be able to bring up the short video. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll have you guys. We'll have some comments afterwards and all. But you guys don't mind, I'm going to remove you from the screen while we play this, so we don't have any feedback. All right, let's do it, Deanna.
I'm Matt Carter with Red Dirt Softball, and I'm here during this video to show you how to run a successful 5-man defense. Keep in mind, this is just our approach, and everything will change from situation to situation, hitter to hitter. With that in mind, let's get started and let us show you how to break down a 5-man defense. If you aren't familiar with this defense, basically what you do is take one of the 4 outfielders and bring him to the infield. The idea behind it is to make the gap smaller and take away the easy base hits. The typical setup for this is to have the extra infielder on the pull side of the hitter and to slightly offset the center fielder. The pitcher will then fall back to the weak side, making the gap smaller and giving you a 6th infielder. Your outfield will give up more shots to the gap, but this should decrease the number of infield grounders that get through and increase the number of double plays that you're able to turn. Now let's talk about communication, since that's a huge part of the game. If your pitcher, middle infielder, and center fielder aren't in sync, that's going to leave massive gaps for the opponent to take advantage of. Everyone needs to know where each other's going to be once the pitch is thrown. Like in ASA, when they're stealing allowed, who's going to be covering second, whether it's the middle infielder, the second baseman, or the shortstop. There's multiple forms of communication. You can do hand signals, verbal cues, or talk to each other in the dugout. Just make sure everybody's on the same page. The pitcher should never throw a pitch before making sure that everybody's ready. Since softball's a hitter's game, positioning's very important. That's why the defense needs to give themselves every advantage possible. Now this all sounds simple enough, but you'd be surprised how many teams miss the opportunity to get an easy out because they didn't take 5 seconds before the pitch to communicate and to shift. So here's the good, the bad, and when to quit the 5-man defense. As for the good, it takes away a lot more base hits in the infield, it cuts down the gaps, and it increases your chance to turn double plays. It puts more infielders on the hitter's strong side, which in turn either they'll hit it to you or they'll miss-hit it trying to hit away from you. As for the bad, it opens up the outfield gaps, and you'll give up more doubles and triples, but most likely a team won't hit there all game. If, for instance, in the first inning they put up 15 or 20 runs hitting to the gaps, abort the mission. Put 4 in the outfield. As for positioning, you'll usually want to set up the middle infielder to the strength side of the hitter. We'll talk about reasons why to set him up to the weak side later. The middle infielder can start right behind second base if he wants, and then break to one side or the other. Whichever side he's going to go to, they need to make sure that those infielders are shifted properly. At all times when running a 5-man defense, you need to make sure first base and third base are hugging the lines. You need first and third to be hugging the line because with a 3-man outfield, a shot down the line can easily turn into a triple. Once the ball's thrown, the pitcher needs to make sure he drops back in order to make the gaps in the infield smaller. As for positioning the outfielder, center field needs to make sure that he's slightly offset of the middle infielder. either pushing a little bit to the right side or a little bit to the left, so when the batter looks out, it looks like all the gaps are filled. Just off a general guideline, you might want to set up the right fielder straight in line with third and second, and the left fielder straight in line with first and second. All this is situational based on where the center fielder's playing. Now on to situational positioning. In associations, with no courtesy foul, after the first strike, the infield needs to pinch the middle. Odds are the guys aren't going for the line, and if they hit one down the line, tip your hat to them, because odds are it was a lucky shot. With less than 2 outs and a runner on first, the first baseman needs to move up into the baseline for a number of reasons. The hitter's probably going to be trying to hit behind the runner, so there's a chance it'll come right to him, and he needs to make sure he's up able to make a play on the ball and not let the runner cut in front of him. He needs to be careful about impeding the runner while he's running to second, but it never hurts if you slow him down a little to increase your chances to turn a double play. The first baseman just needs to make sure he's close enough to get back to the bag in case the play's at 1. If there's 2 outs and a runner on first, the entire infield can move out into the grass, into the shallow outfield. Just make sure that the pitcher is covering second. So in a situation with a pull hitter, and he has a chance to hit a home run, if he's right-handed, you want to take the third baseman, let him hug the line, move the shortstop back into the 5-6 hole, and then also take the middle infielder and put him where the shortstop would normally play. In doing this, go ahead and move the center fielder over into his strength. Hopefully you'll get in his head and he'll try to do something different. Say you've got a hitter who's been successful with the same swing twice. Move your defense in a position for that swing and make him do something different. So in situational positioning, never forget to factor in the wind, since we're in Oklahoma and the wind's always a factor. So here's one thing you can do. If you've got a big home run hitter up and they're out of home runs, you can overload his weak side, pitch him one that he likes, and hope he hits it for an out. So a leadoff hitter is a guy up to bat with nobody on base. Typically, what they're going to want to do is hit it middle to backside and keep the ball low. Kind of like in the last scenario, what you'd like to do here is entice him with a pitch that he could hit to the strong gap for an oops home run, ending up in an out. So lastly, we've got the catcher, but don't overlook the importance of that position. He's the second in command behind the pitcher. The pitcher should always be the first one to shift his defense where he wants to, but the catcher has the same view as the batter. He can often see where he's shuffling his feet or how he's standing farther away from the box. He can move in right field, move out left field, shift the guys in the outfield and infield accordingly at the last minute to put them in the best position to make the right play.
All right. So there was our fundamental 5-man defense explanation. And one of the things I wanted to be able to do was to be able to bring that up, because we do have people who are just tuning in that, maybe aren't as competitive of a team and don't understand, the whole aspect. Because a lot of times people will think it's just a pitcher, the middleman, the 5th man and shortstop, not realizing how important the catcher is, how important left, third base, first base is with hugging the line, or after they already have a strike, squeezing it. So I thought that was a pretty interesting video. And we have an example here of Great Lakes. Oh, yeah. All right. GT, let's see what happens here. Let's show this. Ooh, takes the steam right out of your inning there. So, hey, Jeff, Joe, I'll let you guys start off with, what do you think about that video and what do you have to add to it? Then we'll go to the guys who play the position.
Well, I'll start. I just want to say one quick thing and turn it over to the experts here. But one thing he didn't mention is that any good middle shortstop combo is going to have a picture of the other one behind them, maybe a face cardboard cutout of the other one behind them when they get on a podcast. Right there, Nate has his partner right over his shoulder, like any good middleman would have for his shortstop. Right there. You see that?
Kevin, you're on mute, just so you know. And
yeah, I saw that. I saw that before the show when we were on camera too. Also, and I was hoping no one else did, but
How can you miss it, man? How can you miss it?
So I'll let you guys comment, man. Jeff, I'm going to let you back on, and then you guys, Jeff, go ahead and comment real quick on that, and then we'll let the guys talk.
So I sent that video in. I think that's an outstanding example of a proper way to run a 5-man in police softball specifically. I mean, you get to nitpick. Maybe the 5-man moved a little early, but given my druthers, I would rather have the guy move early and get positioned and set up rather than being on the move while the ball's hit. Because I've seen that many times where the guy waits to the very last second, and now he's not in a position to catch a ball hit right at him. So I'm good with the movement. Watch that 5-man. The pitcher does exactly what he should do. He pitches the ball. He falls back to the weak side. That guy in the video that you just showed stole all my thunder, Trini. So I got nothing for you. but for the fact he didn't talk about the 5-man moving around a little bit, which I think is a big deal. And Nate is the absolute expert of that. And then he didn't talk about that whatsoever. So I think that's important. And he did touch upon the communication but if you got a pitcher who can't put the ball where it needs to be, then there's no point even running the 5-man. I mean, if he's got everybody loaded up on the strong side, pull side, and he's throwing the guy away, then the pitcher, I think, is the most important part because you got to pitch into the defense. So, but that Great Lakes example, great example on how to do it. Good job, guys. I'm not sure who that was. Look, it was probably Pancake was pitching. That might have been Biscuit at first. I'm not sure the 5-man was. I don't think that was JT.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, on that note, you guys that play on the same team, go ahead and comment. Like, what did you think of that video? What would you add to that video? Or what would you say is going to be something outside of what he talked about?
You want me to start, Kev?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, first of all, the instructional video, I had never seen that. That was actually well done. When he initially started, I was thinking, oh, he forgot about this, or, maybe he's not going to touch upon it, but then he ended up getting it later. I think catcher is key. I was fortunate enough to play with George Reyes for a lot of years. And if you know George, ever seen him play back there, he's very animated behind the hitter, kind of directing traffic, outfielder, very, very insightful, which is stuff you pay attention to when you're back there. I'm real big. I think the difference on the instructional video for what we have is we're familiar with our opponents because we see each other a lot. So we have an advantage of knowing hitters' tendencies, what they want to do with nobody out, with runners on. Whatever the score is, if it's a 3-run bomb opportunity, he's going to go for it. So let's load up strong pull. I'm very big on showing strong pull side early rather than giving them the backside. And that guy touched on it. Maybe he'll miss one and blow one out just to eat up the bumps early. As far as the video, I thought it was well too. Like JB said, I think the 5-man, not sure if he was out of position or if he was moving to the shortstop side because he was trying to give the hitter a different look. If he was out of position and then got set up, that's fine. If he was trying to move to be a distraction or maybe I call it a show and go. I like to show a hole and then go on the pitch. I thought he did vacate that a little early, but it was well executed. So the idea on the show and go is to have the pitcher throw, hitter kind of commit to a swing, and then in the back in his peripheral, you're kind of moving to where he's intending to go. So all in all, it was well executed. Some good veteran ball players in that video, so they executed well.
Kevin?
Yeah, I thought so too. To back up what Nate's saying about the show and go. Yeah, like JB also said, the guy he may have gone a little early, but maybe there's 2 strikes to where the hitter's not going to stop the swing. What I think sometimes is if you leave too early and there's not 2 strikes, the hitter can see you and oh, okay, hold on, I'm not going to swing at that. They're trying to play me this way, trying to play me that way. If you got 2 strikes, you can leave a little bit early because he's already had the decision that he's going to swing the bat. And I do the show and go a little bit, not as much as Nate does. But he's definitely the guy that I learned that from. I mean, countless things I learned from Nate and still learning, but that's one of the main things that he does that I've kind of implemented too from the shortstop position.
I thought it was interesting about the with the catcher because I do believe that and me in particular, I don't think I do enough when it comes to directing. seeing things and directing enough. And so I'm after that video and then talking to a few of you guys, I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to how I, my part when it comes to the catching aspect of things and the directing of things. So I thought that was pretty interesting also. JT, what do you got for us?
So I thought the video was pretty good. And I think, between JB and Kevin and Nate, you guys hit it right on the head there. Movement is good if you're trying to, distract or change a swing in mid-swing. But depending on the player, a lot of guys have their set swings anyways, right? It is what it is. Trini, you brought up the catcher there. If you watch our team, you got Biscuit on the mound right now. You got Wax behind the plate. You guys all hear no Wax, right? He's very animated behind the plate. And he's very good at being back there. And the reason he's good at being back there is he looks at the field from a hitter's perspective. And he says, this is what I see. So this is what the hitter is seeing. Here's the holes. So JT, maybe move over us, a little bit to your left or right. Adam, why don't you fill this hole? And then he's moving around infield, outfield, and he has different hand motions for that. And then, like JB was saying with the pitcher, I think it was JB actually, Biscuit, you guys know Biscuit too. He is a phenomenal pitcher, right? He's going to put the ball 90% of the time where he wants the ball to be. And I'll tell you what, playing short behind a pitcher like that is a phenomenal feeling, because when he kind of turns and gives you that, hey, JT, be ready, like, the ball is probably coming your way or close to, because he's going to keep that ball on that side of the plate. So all the movement and everything like that, that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't have a pitcher to be able to pitch it inside when your inside is loaded, or, push pull if you're looking at that, or pitch it outside for the push, you're kind of just going to wrap your defense up. So I think a lot of it is on the pitcher, and thankfully for Great Lakes, we got a great one, and the catcher to look at what the hitter's seeing, and then like he noted in the video there, communication is huge, right? And all these guys here know that. So,
well, we're at the Waxahachie, Joe, and we're calling that game. What do we see Pancake doing? You remember? Because there was one.
You're talking about Biscuit.
Biscuit, yeah. Biscuit, Pancake.
No.
No. I'm talking about what was it? We're I can't remember what the catcher.
Yeah, Wax.
Wax. So, there you go, Wax.
So Wax.
Wax. This is what Wax was doing, and I don't know what this was, JT, when he was doing it, but he was doing this. He was like, I don't know what was that signal when he goes like this.
Let's like get me another beer ready. We're about to be out of the city.
I'm coming off the field soon. Make sure one's ready.
No, but watching those guys together, like you said, when we were down in Waxahachie and calling that game from behind the plate, you see guys like, when you got guys like Wax and Biscuit on the same, when they're on the same what do you call it?
Wavelength.
When on the same wavelength, and they're thinking the same thing, and they're moving guys exactly. Wax knows where Biscuit's pitching the ball, and when Biscuit trusts Wax to put guys in the right place if they're not in the right place, and it was a great thing to watch. You guys made some unbelievable plays that tournament. You guys go back and those who haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It was a great game all the way around. But you guys made some great plays on the infield there in the middle. You and Reggie were unbelievable, I thought, in that championship game. But yeah, watching Wax and Biscuit work together is friggin' awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool. Steven, what do you have to add?
First off, what up, Kev?
Hello, man.
My boy. You guys seen this guy's hands? You ain't lying when you say this guy's got hands, man. Yeah, man. 5-man, I didn't start playing that till I came into police softball, actually. I was at short the whole time. And then Ruben told me, he's like, hey, no, you're playing 5. My brother's pitching. Kind of made it a little bit easier. Me and him are kind of on a different level with not shit. We didn't even got to talk. It's just we know where we're going to be. Yeah. Now we got Abina, another man. We got top 2 pitchers and or top, you know what I'm saying. you got 2 of the top 4 or 5 pitchers in the circuit, man. It's crazy. It makes it a whole lot easier for me as a 5-man. I got 2 guys up the middle that can handle their own. Hey, man, it's all about communication. I would say that for sure. They tell me where they want me. I'm there. They make it easy for me. Like Nate's saying, the little show and go kind of deal. I do it, but man, when it comes down to the bigger teams, like DA, Blue, Great Lakes, those guys, they already know what they're doing, man. You can show what you want. They know where they're going, whether you're going to be there or not. Doesn't matter. Those guys, it's a whole different level when you get to those guys.
And that is one of the things I thought about when we brought you guys on was y'all are on a whole different level, So this is the police softball podcast. So we try to bring in people and make them aware of the circuit, ps.com. We try to make them aware of law enforcement softballs out there. Come join, man. You're going to have a great time. So that's why we wanted to get into the fundamentals. But I knew like what you guys are talking about. We have players on this. I mean, you move where you want to move, man. They're going to adjust and they can adjust at the last minute. But for the most part, it's a really neat treat to watch you guys. And again, Joe, like we saw in Waxahachie, it was really neat to see the shift and to see the changes, that you guys did. Let me ask you this, and Jeff and Joe, I'm curious what you have to say about this. How often do you see, because don't you see a difference between these top tier teams, how little the communication takes place as opposed to maybe teams that don't have the consistency, I mean, are they talking more about this? I don't see as many teams talking as much, as far as pitchers communicating, hey, I'm going to the left. How does that work? Did the pitcher?
I think everybody, I think there's communication at every level. I just think that every top team out there is just communicates on a different level. That's my opinion. Like I said, you don't see not everyone's on the same page, and when you get everyone on the same page communicating, it's a huge difference in my opinion.
And the big difference I see is the difference of the majors teams playing the 5-man versus the lower level teams. And Nate is probably the only guy old enough on here to remember this. But when most teams did the 5th man before SoCal, before Nate came in and did what he did, the reason they did the 5th man was to quote unquote protect the pitcher, right? So where did they put the 5-man? Directly behind the pitcher because they got some old fat guy up there serving up cookies and they don't want him to get hurt, right? So now you've just taken 10 defenders and given you 9 defenders, right? So that's not the way to do it. Like you want that pitcher being a defender. That's a glove right there, right? So we had Ryan Coe, a young guy, wanted the ball hit at him, right? So we were one of the first teams to say, like, fuck, hit it at our pitcher. Go for it. And then Nate was moving either side of him, depending on – and those two had like a vortex in their brains where, like, they're full of silence. I don't know how they did it. And I'm over at second base, and, like, I'm not a good fielder, right? But they never hit the ball at me somehow. Like, you guys are – but it's because, like, Coe would pitch and Nate would cover my side. Whatever the case was, the difference I see, the lower teams still use the 5-man as a tool to protect the pitcher as opposed to using it as a tool to be an extra defender. So when you talk about communication, I agree. Like they should be communicating. The pitcher should field his position. That 5-man should field the position. And then Trini, I gave you a couple drawings of like the correct way that I think and then the incorrect way. But whatever the case is, you'll see the majors teams, the Martins and the CenCal guys and Kevin and whatever the case is, they treat the 5th man as an extra fielder, not as a defender pitcher. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's bring up that drawing real quick. Jeff put he took a lot of time and he created this one. I don't know how many times you did this over and over again, Jeff, but I'm really happy you I'm really happy you got
that's a typical lower level team, right? Look at the middle. It's all stacked up, right? So they've loaded up the middle, and now the hitter's got all kinds of lanes to hit it through. Right? 5-6 hole, 1-6 hole, 1-4 hole, 3-4 hole. All the gaps are all there because they loaded the middle up. And that's what I see with the lower level teams, as opposed to if you flip to the new one, you'll see upper level. They're going to do. That's why the guy in the video stole my thunder, right? So a right-handed hitter, here's the correct way. You're going to load up that strong side. You're going to offset that center fielder off to right center. The pitcher's going to move a little bit to the right. right field and left fielder play straight up. And in the whole idea here is the optics. JT hit on it, with Wax hit on, is what the batter sees. And if you don't see a hole there, because if I try to hit it through the 1-4 hole, I know the pitcher's moving over there. I see a center fielder. If I try to pull it, I got a wall of infielders on the left side. So a lot has to do with the optics. And so that's how a traditional 5-man 90% of the time should be run, in my opinion, in police softball.
Yeah, and I'm kidding with you, Jeff. I can never draw it that neatly. Jason says you have to have that communication. Sometimes Nate and Mort see something, and sometimes I see something. We adjust and we trust each other's decisions. So let me ask you that. Then I'm going to switch this over to Kevin. Kevin, so tell me, what's the most important, like, how does that work, Kevin? How does the communication take place? Let's say, obviously, we're on a different level. You guys are on a different level, and you play the major teams. You know, it probably is a little less effective. But let's say we're playing a team that's a little bit lower level, still in the same division. What's the most important communication? Like, how does that work for you? What's the process? New batter comes up. What ends up happening?
Well, say it's a team we've never played before. Like Nate was saying, the more you play people, the more you kind of see what they're going to do, what their tendencies are going to be. But say it's a new team, we're going to do it just the way Jeff drew it up. That's pretty much the standard one. And then, you know, a pitch will be thrown, the guy fouls it off. Okay, you see something in his swing. Well, Nate and I will communicate, okay, hey, you know, you want to take a step this way, take a step that way. But then we have to communicate with our pitcher. We have to let him know, hey, you know, we're going to be on this side, you know, pitch to the defense. Hey, we see this in his swing, you know, pitch the other way. We're going to move Nate to the other side. And it's something real subtle. I think that you'll notice with a lot of the teams, it's something real subtle. It's not, hey, we're calling timeout and we're going to have a huddle in the middle of the field. It's, you know, it's subtle. Like, hey, you know, whether it's an arm motion, hey, pitch that way, or Nate, take a step this way, or third baseman, hey, move this way. So it's real quick, almost to a point where you don't even need to, you know, delay the game at all. And I think the biggest part of that is just playing together. The more you play together, the more you're going to know what your defense is going to see. We can see things probably that we don't even need to say. We both see it. The pitcher sees it too. So I think it's key to play together. The more tournaments you can get in, you know, the better you guys are going to be, the better communication is going to come.
And that's what I was going to say. It seems like consistency. If you have the same guys there, it's going to work, you know, with a lot less communication. But I think that's a great point. Nate, what do you say, man? How does this work for you when it comes to what you see? If you see something, nobody else sees it. How do you communicate to your guys what you're going to do?
For me, I've always been a good talker. I realize from where I'm at on the field, behind the pitcher, I have probably besides the catcher and the pitcher, I generally have the best vantage point as far as how the hitter's in the box compared to like a left fielder, right fielder, corner guy. You talked about assessing or playing a new team. It's all information gathering. It starts from the first hitter. We generally will play pretty, you know, leadoff guys, probably a backside guy. Middle guys are probably their home run guys. End of the bottom lineup guys are probably backside guys. So we'll load up accordingly until they prove us wrong. A guy's on the plate, I can see that. I'll tell, hey, he's on, meaning he's probably going to pull hard. He's off the plate, hey, he's off. He's probably going to go middle backside. That's the easiest way for me to communicate to my guys early until they prove us wrong throughout the course of the game. Next time we see him, we have a little bit more information. So that's kind of how I do it. Just years of seeing it. Not a lot of guys have proved my theory as far as that goes, where they're at in the box different. Sometimes they may be in the box, but maybe the pitcher doesn't execute a pitch, you know, and the guy hits it backside. But and to JB's point, we're talking about pitchers, and I wanted to get in, but we went to his awesome drawings. He's right. When we went to U-Trip, it was a big thing. And he's talking about the history. We used to play high arc, you know, put your most or least athletic guy on the mound. When we went to U-Trip, there was a lot of confusion about, I get to juke now. So you'd have guys up there, you know, doing all this pitching, dancing, spinning, and then they would throw a ball, right? And then by the third inning, they're gassed out because they're doing all this. They're not executing pitches. the key with the key with Rob, what we're seeing with Rob these last couple of tournaments, not big on juking, big on executing pitches to pitch to how your defense is set up. That's critical. And even for him, we talked about the pitcher being extra infielder. If he's juking, he's give one or two jukes, pitch the ball, and get back into a defensive position where your feet are set. And I have to remind my pitchers sometimes because they'll start juking, they're not executing pitches, and then they're falling back and they're not ready. So I would say, hey, pitch the ball first, set yourself up second. It's actually two separate movements.
Excellent.
It's pitch, and then it's get in a defensive position. It's not juke, run, throw the ball as you're retreating. Very far and few can execute that style of pitching. So it's more execute your pitch, hit to the strength, pitch to the strength of your defense, and let your glove guys work.
What an excellent point. Because I'm by no means on the level of you guys, but what I will say is I have noticed when you get against those pitchers, they're so wrapped up in their pitching and in the juking, and I do notice a lack in that type of communication or movement when it comes to a fifth man, strategy. So I think that's a really great observation.
And as far as the communication goes too, sometimes, I played with a lot of the greats on the bump and they get so wrapped up in, I'm going to throw a pitch here and I got to set up the next pitch and I got to execute this pitch, that we got to remind them, hey, 2 outs, you got bag, or hey, stay here on the glove side, I'm on your hand side. And then sometimes they'll run off and they'll get right in the line of the second baseman. Well, you went over too far because now you're in the same hole as your second baseman. So you got to really focus and reel them back in when they're deeply, caught up in the moment. And I think that's critical on the 5-man, just kind of be that quarterback for your defense.
Another huge point, because as a pitcher, and I did pitch for a little while, you do get wrapped up, especially if you're not having a great game. You're having a hard time finding your pitches, and, it's hot, whatever it is, you're in every play, in every pitch, obviously you're in it. So you can get lost in that. And so what a great point to be able to have your guys be able to shout something out to you, letting you know, hey man, don't forget. And on that note, and Jeff and Joe, I don't know how much like civilian ball you play, but I've noticed those conference guys in civilian ball. I have noticed, and I didn't note it until now, that a lot of those dudes aren't crazy when it comes to the pumps and the moving, and as you might see on a little bit lower level. And I always wondered that, like, why, how is it that this dude's the freaking leader of this freaking conference team? But that right there makes sense to me. They're not putting as much into that. They're concentrating more on covering that gap and doing what they need to do on the defensive side. I think that's a great point. Steven?
That's secondary. You got to execute the pitch first and then get to your defensive spot second.
So Nate, that's an outstanding point. I believe, like when I go to the gym, right, you have a certain amount of currency to use so I call it gym currency. When you go to the gym, whatever, like you got $100 to spend with it. So in softball is the same way. You're going to play 7 games of softball, right? If you're bouncing around and jumping around and stuff like that in a round robin game, you're burning up all that currency. And I learned that from Cole as he progressed through his career, and you saw it. The deeper we got to tournaments, the less juking he would do. It would be there. He'd pump a couple times, but it was more about landing the pitch, and he was spending his energy on landing the pitch into the defenses, and there'd be like a pump, land the pitch, play defense. Nate, you nailed it. I think that was an outstanding explanation.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. So Stu says pitchers get wrapped up with getting strikeouts when 1 or 2 is a lot. Jukes only work on a new player unless you mooch. Help the defense out. Yeah. So JT, what do you see? What have you heard when it comes to this strategy and all? Like, what works against these higher level teams? I understand that these higher level teams will put it where they want to, but in your experience, it's had to have worked against these teams at some point. Like, what do you feel has been the key to being able to try to get to a team when it comes to a 5th-man defense as a tournament rolls on?
So first, Dan, you can see why these guys are so good over here, right? They're hitting points right on the head there. Nate brings up some awesome points there. Kevin does as well. A lot of it's like they're saying, it's strategy, right? You're top of the lineup. Usually you're loaded with fast guys. They're probably going backside, especially if they're lefties. Bottom of the lineup, typically not going to be trying to pull home runs unless you got bases loaded. Obviously anytime with bases loaded, you're going to load power side just because, that's 4 runs or 3 runs, so you're always playing that game. One thing that we haven't really touched on yet, you got to strike on you, right? You got to strike on you. Third baseman can come off that line a little bit. First baseman can come off that line again. You're using that line as an extra defender because, USSSA has now gotten rid of that second strike foul off rule. So, we've inherited that. So if you foul off that second strike, you're out. So now you're using those lines as, almost extra fielders, if you will. And I think these guys are hitting it right on the head. You can see absolutely why these guys here are so good at what they do. Another thing that, I like to do, and, JB was talking, I think it was JB was talking about, using all the extra energy. You talk about energy and how you only have so much, right? And something that I like to do that, isn't always across the board is if it's a 3-hopper through the infield or coming through the infield, and I know I'm probably not making a play on it because it's a slower ball, I'm still laying out for that ball. I'm still trying to get my body in front of it, somehow make a play, because it's not really about you. It's about the team, right? And guess who runs around a lot more than those infielders? It's the outfield, right? So if you have 3 guys that are just dogged in the outfield because you're playing 7 games in a weekend, that's no way to help your team. So as an infielder, you don't have to move around that much. Third base, short, you're moving around, but dive. Make the extra effort to make the play, not for yourself, but for the guy behind you. And that's kind of something with, and I know this is a defensive podcast here, but with hitting as well, right? If you can use a little extra effort to take second base, well, now the guy behind you can hit to whatever he favors. He doesn't have to worry about a force out at second. So, there's always that. Like everything with slow pitch softball, it's funny. It's a mindset, right? And that's why we're here today, is to talk about those things. And to be honest with you, a lot of it just boils down to hustle and giving just a little extra effort for that guy behind you or that team behind you. And then just real quick to touch on communication. I think Nate and Kevin were hitting on it real well. I think a lot of why upper teams seem to not talk as much as the lower division teams is because they've been together longer. So they know each other's habits. I know that if Adam's playing middle, he's always going to have second base. But if he's playing on the second base side and moves to his left, I'm coming over and covering that bag. We don't need to talk about it because we've established it over years of playing together. I just played with Detroit PSC 2 weekends ago, and new team, haven't played with them before. I'll tell you what, watch out for those guys. Bunch of studs coming into the game. They're going to be a good team. So props to those guys. They had a good run. They're going to be awesome players. But with that being said, we talked a lot more because I didn't know those guys. They didn't know me. We want to make sure we're on the same page. And I think that's really the only reason there's less communication in the upper, is because a lot of those guys have been there for so long that we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'll tell you what, PS.com, when I went up there for the first time with our team, SA Law, that was an eye-opening experience. And people told us about it. I've talked about it on the show before. People told us about it. I was like, whatever. We've seen these. We've seen teams before. We're good. And I was man, I don't know what the Swami was thinking, but man, we had freaking the Shamrocks on our first game. Holy smokes. And we turned around and had SoCal the next game. They were the defending champs. Well, I'll tell you what, it was like, oh man, we're definitely going to have to join DBAT, like a membership, not like swipe every time or load up the card. We need a membership. It was crazy, man. But Steven, so on a different note, how do you combat the fifth man when you got a good team, they're adjusting, they kind of know you? It's a little strategy, man. What do you do to go against it? And then, by the way, I'm going to be studying this. It's going to be an assignment for my team. You're about to see a new essay law when we show up. Y'all are in trouble. Go ahead, Steven. Give us some more secrets. How do you turn on a team that's pulling this 5th-man defense on you and they're, 5-man defense? What do you kind of do maybe to throw them off a little bit, maybe do something different?
Hey, man, Nate and Kev, JT, they all kind of touched on it pretty well. There's not much more for me to say. They know what they're talking about, man. These guys are veterans of the game already. I'm still looking up to some of these guys. Good old Nate, I seen him hit a bomb this last weekend. I kind of was a shocker to me, dude. It's every game's different. Every at bat's different. I live one bat at a time, man. Hey, these guys can when you get to that level, like you're saying, Trini, man, these guys, they can put the ball where they want it. They're watching me. I try to sit. Nate and Kevin know a lot. We play them a lot, so they kind of know me. I sit till the last second, man. I try to jump one way, but it doesn't matter, man. They kind of already know where they're going, and if you're guessing wrong, you're gone. It doesn't matter. It's playing with my pitchers, though, man, and then again, my brother as well. I play with him my whole life.
I love you.
Me and him kind of, well, sometimes. Yeah, he's it's with me and him, man. It's the communications. It's just in our heads. I don't know. It's weird. Everyone thinks we're twins. We're not. But it's what the things we can do. It's pretty crazy. And then Abina as well, man. I love playing behind that guy, man. That guy's solid. He's the heart of that team right there. I'm not gonna lie. Him and Ruben, they kind of control everybody. They keep us under good level field. You know what I'm saying? No big heads. We do our thing. But yeah, man. I watching some of these guys. I was just Kevin again, man, and Nate's man. He's a legend, man. You can't watching this guy play. Is just seeing him on the field still is unbelievable. Kevin, yeah. Kevin, I seen him make a play this last weekend, man. And I looked at Ruben and I was like, man, this guy's got some hands, dude. This is unreal watching this guy play. Very next inning, I go out and I dive in the hole and snag one on him and throw him out at first. We had a beer after the tournament for that one. Yeah, I had to rub it in a little bit. I still got hands, but not like Kevin, man. That guy, he can play ball, dude. I enjoy it though. I played a lot of conference ball. I did all that crazy stuff, man. This police softball. I'm not kidding. This stuff is fun. This is what I look forward to anymore. Ain't much more than that.
Nate, I know you're about to say something, but you got the camaraderie, obviously, in police softball. With the, in my experience, second to none. But when you see the level of talent, it's hard to explain to people. I almost have to tell people, you've got to just show up one time. You got to just show up to Vegas one time and see these teams. You people nowadays, if they don't know, they're thinking Sunday afternoon church leagues, with the ASA and all. And I'm like, dude, and I can see it in their eyes. They're like, yeah, whatever. Come on, man. But until they show up and see you guys play, it's they don't get it. So I'm happy to be able to have a lot of my family show up because now they understand, not only the camaraderie, because Jeff, of course, with the opening ceremonies, that's the thing I brag about a ton. The opening ceremonies is everything for me. Yeah, go see great softball. We'll hang out. We'll have some beers. We'll have some fun. Well, I don't drink beer because I drink girly drinks. But I mean, y'all can have some beer and we'll hang out. We'll have some fun. But y'all are going to see a level of talent like you just would never think in softball. So, man, what a neat thing, Jeff. What do you think about as far as? Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Jeff. And
so my daughter's bringing home some food. I just wanted to. I got to bounce.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to. When you asked Daniel, you said, hey, how do you combat it? And I was just going to say, because coming into this thing, I had two ideas for you. One of them I learned, and it's a mind hack. So you're a hitter, you got the 5-man, you got these guys. Look at these guys like on the screen, like this guy went to Ole Miss. This guy, Nate Baez, he's in like whatever, like he's like a legend, right? Comic book hero, right? You got all these guys, right? How do you combat that, right? I learned a mind hack from Randy Theveridge, who used to be a Michigan lawman player, big hulking guy. And he told me, he goes, I never look at the defense. He goes, I never look where the players are. He goes, I look where the holes are. If I look at the defenders, my mind is automatically going to push the ball toward one of those guys. He goes, but if I look at the holes, my mind's going to push the ball to the hole. So that's number one. And another lesson I learned too is Donnie Meyer was he was on here earlier. He says, I don't care where they're playing. He goes, I hit line drives like 180 feet. He goes, so, it's like, as long as he hit a line drive 180, there's no defensive player who's going to play the co-ed line, right? So he's hitting a ball 100. So if you're thinking, hey, look, I'm looking at holes and I'm looking at a line drive 180 feet, I don't have to worry about where the second baseman is because I'm not hitting a ground ball. I'm hitting a line drive. So it's a mind hack. Look where the holes are. Don't look at the players. Think about hitting line drives. That's number one. Number two, I don't think anybody of us here could argue that George Reyes is not one of the top, if not the top hitter in police softball, right? Overall. He was not always that way. When I met George was a power pull home run hitter. Man, not always pull, but like center field home run hitter guy, right? George joined an E softball team in California where E's the lowest level, played tournaments the whole year, and if he hit a home run, it was an out. And not only was it an out, it was the end of the inning, and the other team got to come to bat, right? So if you hit a home run, you were the least valuable player on the team. So you take a guy who's a home run hitter and put him on a team to where the one thing he does is great is the worst thing you could do. And what do you become? You become George Reyes, because that guy worked on his game every day hitting backside, right? Who hits the ball as hard as backside as George does? So for all you guys who are taking batting practice, two things. You want to beat Nate, you want to beat Mort, you want to beat JT, you want to beat CenCal. Look for the holes when you're playing against them. Don't look at the players. And then number two is your batting practices has got to be about hitting line drives, Donnie Meyer style. And if you're a pull hitter, it better be backside. If you're a backside hitter, it better be pull. I don't want to see any home runs. I can't tell you how many. It's not fun. Guys, they want to make it a home run derby. Every batting practice becomes home run derby. Oh, I'm just testing the bat. Bullshit. You want to see how far you can hit the ball, right? Be George Reyes. Give me a year without hitting it. You're not going to lose your power. That home run's still going to be there. Give me a year, a solid batting run, not hitting a home run. They say whatever it is. Whatever you're weak at, train it. Train where you're weak, and you will be strong. Fact. And I got to leave, guys. I'm sorry. So I'll leave it with
Can I get a bicep pose real quick, though? Can I just
double biceps?
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
And remember, Newsom doesn't lift. So, all right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Carry on.
We
appreciate
you, Jeff.
Superstars. They're gonna
See you, Jeff.
Take care, guys.
Later, Jeff.
Trini, real quick, JB brings up, looking at the holes when you're hitting, right? And just to relate it to like police, a little bit, because it's police softball, right? There's a reason why when you look at shooting scenes and when officers have to draw quick and put rounds down, in the unfortunate event that they have to do that, look at how many people get shot in the hands, right? It's because you're looking at that firearm come up and at you, or that weapon come up and at you. You're going to put rounds down or balls in the area that you're looking or focusing.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, man, that's a great point. I like that. In fact, you gave me an idea for a future show, so that's awesome. Hey, I love Wax because this is how he is, man. It's underhanded. Don't hit at these guys. That, you know what? If I could summarize the strategy, how to beat the 5-man, that's it right there.
Don't hit at these guys. That's great. That's a great plan,
dude. It's simple too. Real simple. Way to put that. So hey. Tell you what, real quickly before we head out, Kevin, do me a favor, man. I personally need to. I mean, I can't wait to see you play. I haven't had the opportunity as much to see you play, so I'm really excited. Tell us, just briefly, what is it in your mind that? Because how long have you been in police softball, Kevin?
I'm starting to lose you here. I didn't get that last sentence.
All right. Yeah. How long have you been in police softball?
My first year was 2014. So I think this is season 7 or 8 for me. Yeah. 2014 was my first year.
What was the biggest like eye-opening experience with police softball versus where you come from? Because you play college ball, correct?
Right. Yeah. I think just the biggest eye opener and scared me actually was how hard some of these guys hit the ball. You're being in the infield, the bases are short, you're closer than you are in hard ball. And man, some of the balls that are coming at me still come at me like, I don't know, almost get out of the way kind of deal. But it's actually a big time eye opener how many good ball players there are. Guys that have played baseball, for a long time, and guys that are still doing it, still want to come out there and compete, and still do it at a really high level. There's guys on our team with Nate, with Danny Wells. They're up there in their 40s, but they're still out there playing at the major level at the upper level, and they're starters, and they're still getting it done on both sides. Whether it's offense, defense, still getting it done. So it's amazing to be playing with some of these guys, and not just on our team, but obviously on other teams too. And it's awesome, man. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, very cool, man. Well, I'm excited to see you play again and pay some close attention to you when it comes to the next opportunity. What tournament are you guys playing next?
I think we're trying to go to Reno next, which is in beginning of May, I believe. I think we're going to try to get enough guys to go up to Reno.
Are we going up there, Joe?
We will be there.
Nice.
We're committed, so we'll see you up there.
Can I piggyback on what Kevin was talking about?
Sweet.
Absolutely.
So I think with us on the screen, as far as infielders and playing at the highest level, and I think what Kev talks about when he talks about the shorter distance and being able to continuously make plays at that level is what really separates the upper guys from the lower guys. And you're talking about guys that have achieved championships and MVPs and defensive player of the years. It's the ability to possess the skill, meaning good hand, good arm, range, put it all together and make these plays, these highlight plays consistently. Because how many times do we play a team, they'll get a smash hit at them, they'll make the play, and what's the reaction from the dugout? It's, oh, nice play, you should have seen it, right? Or you should have, whatever the comment is, but it's like, okay, that guy's probably got lucky. But when you get these group of guys and some that aren't on here playing at that level at a shorter distance, ball coming in hot, maybe you have to range, maybe you have to throw from your knees, maybe you have to find different ways to get rid of the ball quick. That's what really puts this group in the upper middle infielders at an elite level, and it's awesome to see and to be a part of.
And you can tell when you guys are in those games where everybody's done playing, how many of the players, and we just saw that in Waxahachie at our tournament, how many players stick around to see it. And that's a big compliment, man, because everybody's ready to go hang out with friends, family, whatever. But they're like, oh, hell no, I want to see this, and that's a credit to the players out there. So I know, Kevin, I know you got to go soon.
I got time.
All right, very cool.
Another thing that I wanted to say, just defense, that probably separates some upper teams, major teams, is that just make the routine play. There's so many times where a routine play will get booted to where the offense gets 4 or 5 outs an inning, where these guys are too good of hitters. Like Wax said, it's underhand. These guys are too good of hitters to give them 4 or 5 outs an inning. That's when the big innings start piling up. That's when you start giving up 7, 8, 9 runs an inning, where you make the routine play, maybe you'll give up 1, 2, maybe 3 runs an inning. You continue to make the routine play. The infield gods, if you will, I guess, they'll reward you that diving play up the middle, or the sliding play in the hole. You'll get rewarded with one or two of those a tournament. But I think the thing that separates everyone is guys up here make the routine play, and I think that's the biggest thing about defense.
I think that's a great point also, because I know as a batter, when that position, shortstop, and we're talking about fifth man in particular, when they're going to make that routine play, it really does mentally put it in their mind, like, I got to go somewhere else. And that's when that fifth man really comes into play. Whereas a team that doesn't make those routine plays, you're not stressing so much about where they move, because hey, they've already proven to me that, however many percentage of times they're not going to make that play. So I'm not stressing so much about it. So I think that's a great point. A great point. Also, Wax says, or hit on the ground and run.
That's Wax's
what's
special
going on,
there.
brother? Steven's our fifth man and a solid player. Look at that. Look at that CrossFit photo on his profile. Did I miss my intro? We got you, Steven. You're coming. Texas Leaguers are a defender's favorite. It's true. Let's see there. Donnie says there's nothing like police softball and their families. That's all I'm talking about. Man, that guy.
Absolutely.
Super impressive. Played this last weekend, man. Did a great job. Hey, so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity real quick to kind of just anything we haven't touched on, anything you want to touch on as far as whether it's police softball, whether it's the 5-man position, whatever it is you want to leave with. I'm going to give you that opportunity to do that now.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to say congratulations on the hospital trip and the scan results, Trini. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, man. Good for you, Trini.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a special time this time because I got an opportunity to help my classmate out from the academy who was just diagnosed before the weekend. And so it was great to be able, because I recommended my oncologist and he was able to go and make an appointment, and it was just before my appointment. So I was really, really happy to be able to, like I talked about with Trinidad, to turn my struggles into a gift for others. I got an opportunity to do that today. So regardless of what the outcome was going to be, I knew a couple of things. I knew that no matter what, I was going to be here for this podcast. Didn't matter what he came back with. And then I also knew that it was going to be a wonderful thing to be able to go there for something that had a lot of anxiety for, but I didn't have as much anxiety. And I think it was because I was able to help someone else, in a situation that's going through a first-time diagnosis. And so both those things worked out just perfectly. We're able to give each other a big hug, and his news was good. Is isolated. So he's going to have surgery and have it removed. And so all of that just worked out really well. And so thank you very much for saying that. It's an extra special show for me today. So thank you for that. JT, got anything real quick before you sign off?
No, just awesome. Awesome to be here with you guys, and I appreciate it. And, it's super cool to see how far along police softball has gone. My dad was actually in Florida with me a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me some of the stories of, he was a cop up here in Michigan as well, with Detroit police and in a little city called Harper Woods over here where I grew up. But he was telling me about the police softball tournaments at Detroit City and stuff. And it's cool having Donnie on and showing those pictures. And, it kind of just wrapped all those stories he was telling me a couple weeks ago up. It's pretty cool to grow up, with your dad being a cop. And actually my mom was a cop as well. And
all right.
Watching him play softball and, joining the same circuit years down the line and kind of seeing where it's been and kind of tying the story in full circle. So what you guys do for us in the game, and the podcast and all the tournaments and everything you guys do is awesome. And, I hope you guys realize us as the players really appreciate what, Trini, you and Joe and all of you do. So awesome. Great job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very, very much. This is one of those things where I have you guys on the show. I asked Joe about the subject matter. He agrees. We put you guys on. And, one of the things I talked to Joe about when we first started this was I'm not anyone to be able to host a show like this. I mean, from experience wise, I have a lot of experience and I play a lot of ball, but I've never been at the level that you guys are, but that's not my place. My place with Joe is to be able to bring a different way of keeping the camaraderie alive. Cool. During the season, it's easy. We can talk about tournaments in Vegas and the build up and all that. But off season, it's keeping that camaraderie together, because just like today, leaving that appointment, if I would have had the news that cancer's come back, I'm still going to be here because you guys are a therapy for me. Police softball is a therapy for me. And that's what it is for a lot of us. And so that's why it's so important in my family's life. Because you think about this, I didn't go to dinner with my family tonight to be here. And my wife's probably going to be asleep. Watch. Joe, did you notice my wife hasn't commented yet? She's asleep. And if she's not, we'll see here in a second because, hey, I'm like this.
I wish I was there with you, Trini. My wife just had our newborn, man.
Oh, all right, man. All right. Congratulations to you, brother. Very cool.
Thanks. This season's going to be a little different, that's for sure.
You'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying. This last tournament, she was her idea. I wasn't gonna go back home. She was like, you need a break. Get out of here. I think she needed a break, to be honest. But
hey guys, Steven's play he made on Kev was one of the best plays you'll ever see. And
was it recorded?
No, and I wanted to get into that with JB before he left because, how obviously we all miss Dell, but he did so much for us in life. But he seemed to always capture those types of plays, Steven. And it's unfortunate we don't have video guys out there the way Dell, because Dell used to catch all those plays.
Explain it to us. I want to hear. I wasn't there. Tell us what happened.
Well, should we let Kev tell it?
Yeah, we'll let Kev.
Go ahead, Kev.
Not only was it a great play, it was a clutch play. I think it was in the top of the 7th inning. We're chasing a few runs. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was the leadoff hitter of the game. But, yeah, I hit a ball in the 5-6 hole, and I almost took a few steps, to go try to make my turn. And all of a sudden they're like, the ball's coming. I see him reach down and make this play and bring me out by a pretty good amount, too. It wasn't close at first. He got me good.
Utilize that turf. It was a 2-hop skipper across the turf, right on the money.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was the play of the tournament for sure.
And that's the other thing about
that.
And that's what we talk about, man. Guys on this screen and at your level, our level, man, just that's what separates it, man. I know Kev talks about the routine ones, which he's absolutely right. But when you get those opportunities to make where you have to range 5-6 hole deep in the grass, find a way to get rid of it, put something on it, make it an accurate throw. I mean, it just all came together for you, man. It was clutch. It was nice to watch.
It did.
Yep.
Damn, I wish I was there. Wish I could have seen that. Jesus. Hey, but all right, cool. Well, hey, JT, real quick, I want to thank you very much for joining us. If you don't mind, I don't know if you're in a rush, but if you don't mind just holding on real quick, I'll have you in the background. And but JT, thank you so much. Great Lakes. Truly appreciate you being here, brother, making the time. I saw you earlier in uniform. And like I said, one thing that I thought was really neat about this podcast when I talked to Joe was we used to go to Vegas and I didn't know anyone. We'd show up to Vegas and I was like, man, who's that? And then you hear the names like Pancake Biscuit, all these different nicknames. But who the hell's Pancake Biscuit, whatever. And but now we get a chance to put a face to the name. And I think that's the importance of this, because the next time I meet you guys, it's going to be on a different level, and so the rest of the circuit also realizes, that it's not just softball, man. We all are out there every day, putting on the vest, putting on the gun, going into a corrections facility. And that's one thing I do, Stephen, want to highlight is the corrections officers, because they're a part of our circuit. They're a part of our family. And I don't know if I could do what you guys do. I mean, it's like a teacher. Not the same thing, but kind of where I'm coming from, because I could never be a teacher. I don't know how they do it. I give them so much credit. They don't get paid enough. They don't get enough recognition. I think it's the same thing with corrections. You guys have an unbelievably unique job. And I give you guys a lot of credit, and I want to be able to highlight some of you guys on a future show coming up. So on that note, JT, if you don't mind sticking around, I appreciate you being here, man. And I'm going to enjoy having you back on, and I'll tell you why here shortly. Cool.
Thanks for
having
me.
JT. Appreciate you, brother.
Later, bud.
All right, man. So, Kevin, any final parting words? I know you had already said something about, the appreciation for the circuit and all, but any final words? Or are you good?
Excited to be out there playing again with, last year kind of getting canceled, only a few tournaments, but, it's going to be a fun year. Already a few competitive tournaments. So we're just looking forward to getting out there and playing. Hanging out with the guys in between games. I think that's one of my favorite things. It's fun to go out there and play softball, but, hang out with these guys in between games, like Steven said, he made that play against me, and, as soon as the game was over, we were drinking a beer together. It's awesome, man. It really is like that big family that everyone talks about, and I'm excited for the next one. But, yeah, thanks, Trini, for having me on today. It was awesome. Joe, thank you very much.
Yep, thanks, Joe.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
If anybody gets the opportunity, if you need to figure out how to send something to Joe, let me know. We'll make it happen. I'll get you the address. I'll get you what you need. we'll send him something. Don't send him a hat though, because if you haven't noticed, look at that head.
No.
Yeah, don't send him a hat. Send him a shirt. Send him something else. Some of those socks, Donnie. If you're still on, send him some of those 3-ring socks. He can wear those. He'll be good. He'll sport them really well. So,
vintage,
all right,
vintage.
Kevin, I know you might have to go. If you don't, cool, hang out. If you can't, then that's cool. We'll catch up later. Cool.
I gotta start getting ready for work. But yeah, thanks a lot, Trini. Thanks, Joe.
Ooh, dog.
Thanks, Kev.
Later, bud.
We'll see you, Kev.
Later.
Thank you, man. Jay-Z, by the way, said didn't get mentioned enough. The accuracy and or arm strength of these top guys is incredible. That's a great point, Jay-Z. Yeah, man, because they got to be able to turn that to, or to be able to, that fire that ball from a deep spot in their position to be able to make that happen. And Jay-Z, I didn't even know you were here, brother. I don't know if you just joined on or not, but I always like to know when you're on. Jay-Z always has a comment, or a good insight on things. And so, especially talking to him in person, guy's intense, even when he's relaxed. It's like he just drank a Red Bull. I love that about him. But yeah, hey, Steven, any final parting words real quick?
Man, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Hopefully next time I'm on here, I got a resume like Nate does, man. That was a little embarrassing.
Everyone wants a resume like Nate, man.
Yeah.
23 years.
I hope I get there one day, man.
You will,
know.
man.
I don't know.
Keep grinding.
Yes, sir.
Stay focused, man. You'll get there.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Steven.
That corrections life, like you said, man, it's no joke, man. It's no joke. It's definitely something to get used to. That's for sure.
I know it's not, man. And I'll just make a quick comment on that. When we have guys like Steven's on our team, he's our fifth man. And, these guys, when they come from in the county, Bexar County, which surrounds the city of San Antonio, they have to work the jails first, and then they come out in the streets. And I think that's such a huge attribute. It's such a great thing to have that experience, behind the gates, whatever you want to call it, to be able to understand the lingo, to understand the posture you need to carry, the words, and when you speak to somebody on the streets and you've got the lingo from a corrections, experience, it means something when you're out there. And these dudes instantly change their mentality or their way of talking to you or being with you when they understand that you have that slang. So I give those correction guys a ton of respect. And like I said, man, we'll make that happen here soon. I think we lost Steven, but we do absolutely respect you guys and appreciate you guys. Glad you're a part of the circuit. So hopefully Steven will be able to hang out for a second. Nate, fittingly, I'll give you the last word. What do you got, man, before you sign off?
Yeah, just like my first go around on the podcast. Thanks for everything you guys are doing for the circuit. Deanna, I know you're back there. Thank you as well.
We're about to bring Deanna out. Let's see.
Where's it? There she is.
Deanna?
She works hard for you guys, getting everything set up and
does. Thank you very much, Deanna.
Getting everyone on board. I guess my thing I would touch on for anybody out there is just, I'm an older guy now, and in recruiting, we got to keep our circuit alive. Seems the last couple of years we're trending, I guess, a negative way as far as the amount of teams, and especially at the major level. But sounds like there's some good East Coast young talent out there. We saw a very good young Sac Razorback team out in Fresno. Dudes are young, dudes are killing it. So I mean, it's nice to see, but it's important just to kind of keep your ear and eyes to, who may be coming on the job and who can play and who might have an interest. But we got to just continue that recruiting and try to add more talent to the pool and get more teams and stuff like that. But
agreed.
It's probably my thing for today.
Yeah, I think your point is that's the purpose of this podcast. When I talked to Joe, it was like, how can we bring more awareness to our circuit to be able to get some of these teams? Because we have teams here around San Antonio that, they aren't higher level teams, but I try to explain to them, like, I'm trying to recruit. I'm like, dude, come out, get the environment. Even if you guys suck it up, doesn't matter. We have a divisions, and you're missing the point. The point is not necessarily that you walk away with the championship like it may be in lower or not lower, but maybe local tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
The point is to be around like-minded people who are in this for the same reason you are, that camaraderie, and enjoy the opening ceremonies, enjoy Vegas, enjoy, some of these other cities. You're going to travel anyway. Take your team and travel, man. Go visit California, go visit, these different tournaments, New York, whatever, St. Louis,
Waxahachie.
Waxahachie. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's the purpose. So it's a great point. And if you got, keep your ears open for these new teams and invite them out, man. We want to be able to bring more people into the circuit. So
that's what we're doing on DEA. We put Robert Mason in the academy over with the sheriff's department. So his responsibility is to recruit new talent before anyone else can get to him.
He gets them before anybody. That's pretty smart there. I like that.
Yeah, that came down from Jimmy G. He said, "Hey, someone's got to go get a job at the academy." Rob took him.
That's a veteran move right there, man.
I'm going to work my way in there some way, somehow into the academy, whether it's through biotech, Shields for Kids. And believe me, essay law is going to be coming up in those discussions. So we'll see how it goes. But Nate, I don't know if you got to run or not, but if you don't, hang out in the background. If you do, then cool. We'll catch up. We'll catch up later, but we'll get to you here in just a few minutes.
All right. I'll hang out.
Good seeing you, Nate.
You too, guys. Take care.
All right, man. Joe, I think we accomplished our goal today. And although our goal was to talk about the fifth man and the defense, your goal was to get a gift. So I think we're going to get something to you here soon. I'm sure it might be a batting glove. I don't know, but just be thankful and we'll highlight it on the show.
Maybe Nate can sign a batting glove or a glove for me and send that out to me. I'll shoot him I'll text him my address. Dude,
you don't have one yet?
No, man. I'm sure you got one of each. I get it.
If mine fit, I'd send it to you, but sorry. But hey, man, it was a great show. A lot of great feedback, and I definitely am going to watch this one again, take some notes because these are great points to make as far as bringing your team.
A lot of great talent on the show today, man. I mean, absolutely. I wish I had 10% of one of those guys' talent on the field. I mean, defensively, them guys were lights out. So
yeah. Well, that's great, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining me again, Joe. I know you made the effort to get here, and it was last second, but you always come through. So thank you very much for that, man. I tell you all the time that it's not the same without you. So I'm happy you're here, brother.
Appreciate it, man, and congrats on that screen today.
Thank you, brother. Truly, truly appreciative. I get 4 more months, and so I'm really happy about
4 more
that.
to get another 4.
Yeah, that's the plan. So, hey, thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave Joe on the screen because he's my partner in crime. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. That's how you can help us out, keep this thing alive, bring some sponsors on board, and help us keep this thing rolling. So, hey, for Joe Monahan, this is Trini Trinidad. And don't forget, man, we got your 6.